now. Holy shit, folks.
I always remind people, I am suspended for life for minor hockey.
It's my duty to please the booty.
Did you catch a rattlesnake and then drive home with it in your car holding it the whole time?
Yep.
Phil only drinks Coke. He doesn't drink water. I'll fucking quit.
Fugazis.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 428 of Spittin Chiclets, presented by Pink Whitney from our friends at New Amsterdam Vodka here in the Barstool Sports podcast family. What's going on, everybody? We had a hell of a Super Bowl we'll get to later. Huge trade. That market's starting to heat up. And we had a multi-Dallas fan with a steel chin. We'll get to all this stuff later. Let's talk to the boys first about our weekend out in Arizona. Mikey Grinelli, producer. What's going on?
You mean the month out in Arizona?
Yeah.
Bury me in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll just leave it there. What a week.
My voice box sounds like fucking Lisa Ann's, or looks and sounds like Lisa Ann's leather Cheerio right now. Just sounds like I hacked 1,000 packs of cigarettes. What about you, Whit? How's your Vegas voice treating you?
I sound wonderful, boys. It's great.
Yeah,
to
you
talk
actually
to you guys.
do.
How you guys doing? You hear these vocal
Oh,
cords
yeah, give it to me.
my throat. Ugh, it sounded bad. But still, I feel horrible. I'm actually sick as a dog, but I'm here and I'm sounding better than all three of you combined.
So you feel like I sound?
I feel like you sound.
Okay.
And I basically I can't travel for Chiclets like for another 3 months. I don't want to see you in person for the longest time, any of you.
Yeah.
This is fine over Zoom. I'm done being around
Between
you guys.
Winter Classic leading up to now, I'm like, okay, I got enough of the boy time on the road. I won't see you or hear from you other than coming onto this podcast for probably another 6 weeks. Although we got to do the Stadium Series game.
Friday.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
In 3 days again.
No, but you know what, though? There's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's been an unbelievable rip, and we've had so many fun times and great stories, including some that we should get to now. It was an amazing week coming off of All-Star. We went right into Super Bowl week, and we had a crazy day that Wednesday. That mini golf that the Barstool crew put together, the production team from Barstool has been hitting it out of the park. They did the dozen tournament. The craziest thing about the mini putt was the fact that they were giving live updates on score all throughout the broadcast. So it looked like a full-blown PGA setup.
We showed up and I saw like the trucks, like the NFL trucks that are outside the stadium. I'm like, what is this? Like, that's the truck to live stream this bitch on YouTube. So I was blown away. I mean, to actually go from where they really years ago couldn't even release a video correctly to now live streaming us playing mini golf, 16 different people, then cut down to 8, in which you and I made the cut. But it's pretty impressive by you.
Yeah.
A wonderful comeback for you to get inside that top 8 for the final round. Just an overall amazing day. We had something else in the morning that we can't release yet that's pretty exciting, involving a bunch of different people at Barstool. And then we went straight over to a Pink Whitney bottle signing, which then was followed by a big deal brewing party. So you want to talk about your first day? I landed Tuesday night around 9:15, and Merles and Miggs were just having a beer watching that lunatic loser LeBron break his record. So I went over to catch that, but I didn't know what we had in store for Wednesday. Wednesday was a 7 a.m. wake up, followed by basically an 11 p.m. done at work. So a long grind to begin that trip, I'll say.
Would you feel like you're repeating yourself over and over as to me asking you about the LeBron situation? Now, I didn't catch it in real time. Are you just saying based on how big of a spectacle it was made into?
Yeah, just like the fact they lost the game. They're in like the playoff hunt, and they're down 5 points with 10 seconds to go in the third quarter or whatever, and boom, the game stops. An amazing record. I mean, we don't need to go into the record right now, but just what kind of spectacle was that? Like, what happened? And the best part was Anthony Davis, who obviously clearly hates LeBron's guts because he didn't even consider standing up.
So that's what you made from that video. You think there's undeniably you're not
okay,
blowing
so if you
out
don't know, LeBron, he lines up to shoot. Everyone has their phones out except for Phil Knight, that dog from Nike who created the entire thing. Amazing book, by the way, Shoe Dog, I think it's called.
They got a movie coming out with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck too.
I saw that trailer. It looks real good. But he's the only one without his phone out. But Anthony Davis is sitting down on the bench as he's shooting. And you think that's no big deal. He's going to stand up with the rest of what felt like the world as he hit that shot. Nope. It's a shot Anthony Davis doesn't even consider standing up. So you know how that guy, how he feels about LeBron.
Well, all right. I mean, you would be able to speak to it further. Like, you've probably been around for a lot of monumental moments and seeing crazy records be broken. Do you think that was a little bit much given the circumstance of breaking the scoring record in the NBA?
I actually don't. I mean, I know LeBron's people love him or people hate him, but that's a huge record. It's been standing for, I think, close to 40 years. Kareem, set it back in 84. That's a huge record, man. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greats of the game. I mean, he's got more points than Jordan. I thought it was appropriate. And Antonio Davis, he did say it was about the game. He basically said, we're losing the game. And, he felt it was too celebratory, whatever. I mean, you could read into that how you will, but I don't know. It did seem like you can't even stand up. You can't even get off your ass for 2 seconds. So I don't know whether his excuse is valid, but as for LeBron, man, yeah, that was huge, man. It's a titanic record. I mean, the most points ever in NBA history, and he's 38, 39 years old or whatever he is. I thought it was apropos for the moment.
I fucking love that opinion.
Don't sleep on the fact that LeBron went to the Super Bowl and is not playing tonight. He's got an injured ankle. So, it's just classic LeBron. Cares about one person and one person only. And that's LeBron James. R.A.,
you are high-stepping out of the gate right now. I'm not saying you're wrong, Whit, and I love your fucking strong take. I just thought what you brought, R.A., was it's a pretty monumental record. I do find it weird that, Davis didn't even try to be like, oh, no, maybe my ankle was bugging me. He straight up said that he thought it was too celebratory given that they were down 5 points and they were losing. Man, that does sound like a teammate that's maybe been exhausted of it for maybe the whole season leading up. So both can be true. I wasn't really. I don't think I was all there for the come up of Jordan. He obviously conducted himself a completely different way during the time and the moment that he was setting all this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Jordan, he was a mercenary, basically. I mean, he was almost the opposite of LeBron in that he didn't give a fuck what people said or thought, whereas LeBron kind of seems like he puts his thumb up to the wind a little bit and tries to play both sides. But, yeah, Jordan gave no fucks, and I don't think he gives any fucks today either as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can gather that today, but that's, I'm
sure
overall,
LeBron would say he read Shoe Dog, by the way. And then be able to tell you about what the first page said.
Give you the Coles notes. You give you the, what do they call that? We call them Coles notes in Canada.
Notes down
Cliff notes. Okay, I've been given a hard time for saying that. But just a crazy 10-day, 7-day sports debacle. Of course, the Super Bowl, which I don't think we could even get to yet unless there's other things you guys want to talk about that we're leading in, like the dozen match.
Before we go any further, I got to talk about our presenting sponsor, Pink Whitney. You've heard me on these airwaves before mention how much they mean to us. We are so thankful to Pink Whitney, not only because they made this amazing drink, but also because it is just such a pleasure to be able to celebrate a golf round or finish a hockey game or be out with your buddies and just enjoy nips of Pink Whitney. Whether it's in the glass and you're pouring in with some soda water, or whether you're crushing it straight up, or you're mixing it with anything. It doesn't really matter. But we're going to be in Carolina. We're going to be drinking Pink Whitney down there at Teats before the big game at NC State. We were in Scottsdale. The Pink Whitney was flowing on the golf course. We were in Florida. It was flowing at Bo's Pub. It's one of those things, any weather, any situation, any group of people, Pink Whitney. If you love the people you're with, you drink Pink Whitney. You celebrate it together. If you hate the people you're with, you drink Pink Whitney to get through it. It's a win-win no matter what. And thanks to New Amsterdam, without them, it would never be a reality. So get your Pink Whitney anywhere you can and drink it and enjoy life just like we do. New Amsterdam Vodka's Pink Whitney. Thank you.
I basically just want to thank the staff over at Total Wine. Well, Christ, I can't remember where we were.
What a store.
Unbelievable. Dude, that store is incredible, man. If you like alcohol, that store is mint. And the staff there is awesome. The executives they brought in, and of course, the fans who came out to see us. As always, we can't thank you enough. It was a tremendous turnout. We thank you for that. And then
we met the CEO of Total Wine.
You got to mention the fact that our fans are rabid. All you guys and girls listening, you guys are out of your mind. You're nuts. You're lunatics. That's why I love you all. We apparently had what was told to me 5 times the amount of people as the Chainsmokers the next day who had a signing there. So, I mean, when you speak of Spittin Chiclets and the Chainsmokers, some may say not exactly the same level. Maybe at some point the Chainsmokers will reach up to what we have. But I couldn't believe that the turnout in Scottsdale, a lot of Biz Nasty super fans and just a lot of overall Chiclets diehards who came out and waited, I don't know, 2 hours in line to get to hang out meet us, take some pictures, and sign some bottles of Pink Whitney. So Total Wine, I was talking to the CEO. I think the first store was in Delaware. They're up to 264 now. Just an amazing place where I think you could get any alcohol that's ever been created on Earth.
I hope I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here, but we got to meet the CEO and talk with a lot of the staff. They were in town for the whole weekend, but the story is I think that they originally had a couple businesses inside the Pennsylvania state lines. And the way that Pennsylvania runs their alcohol system, I think it's distributed by the state. So they ended up getting hosed based off a few rules, which I guess went to court, and they ended up being found not guilty of. So they were basically being accused of rules they were breaking in which they weren't. So they just decided, because of the strictness of Pennsylvania, they would move their business to Delaware. And from there, it has just completely expanded. I want to say as of right now, 244 locations nationwide. And there's 2 more opening in the next month. They're opening up a few more in the Boston area. I don't know why you're laughing while I'm saying all this.
I just said there's 264, which I believe is the number.
It's 264?
Is mush brain. You weren't listening, and you went to 244. So not only did you not listen to your co-host, Witty, you actually dumbed down their number by 20 stores in total disrespect of Total Wine. So take a sip of that goddamn tea and wake up, because the show started.
You know what that means, Whit?
God, I thought he said 244, and then it was going to 246. My apologies, CEO. Now I've lost a friendship. God damn it. I've lost a business partner and a friend.
Wait,
and a CEO.
Revenue. Fuck.
Biz,
God
I think
damn it, Biz.
I think you're right. On the company website, it says today we operate 246 superstores across 27 states.
Oh, Witty. Hey, Witty dog. How about this?
I gotta take a lap.
How about I
gotta take a lap.
sip on my-
Take a lap. Down and back.
Hold on. You can
How
hear me
about I
down and
sip
back.
on my... Hey.
Oh,
and while
shit.
you're
The
up,
water's going to come through this wall, too.
Please.
Hey.
Put
And
your
while
rubbers
you're
on.
up, grab a sniffer, buddy, because the podcast has started.
Oh,
and you better
fuck.
be
I
ready.
deserve all this. By the way, RA, you said 44 and 44 last week, not 46
Okay.
and 44.
Mea culpa.
Thank you.
I love this.
Anyway,
little
Place to blame someone
Anyway,
else
thank
than
you to
myself.
Total Wine. Thank you to Pink Whitney. It was an unbelievable week leading up to the Super Bowl. You mentioned the Big Deal Brewing Party at the Barstool Sports Bar. That place took care of us all weekend long. It was awesome setup. Thank you to all the Big Deal Brew supporters who came out. A lot of Canadians in there. We were able to muck around, hand out some beer. It was a bit of a gong show, much like everything else. And the reason why, once again, my voice sounds like Lisa Ann's Leather Cheerio, but a blast. Now, RA, I don't know what more you got into on the weekend. I ended up going to the tournament itself on Saturday and just hitting the throttle down and kind of ending the existence to what was that 10-day stretch.
I kind of shot my wad the first night there. I may have lost contact with the mothership toward the end of the night a little bit, but that was it, man. I actually was not by plan or design. I had some early nights, man. I don't know if I was hitting the wall. I'm an old fuck after Fort Lauderdale the week before, but I really didn't get too nutso after that first night. And I will say the debate over how many stores Total Wine has, that could be a question on the next dozen trivia, given how some of those questions were. I don't know who out there watched it. I was very disappointed that I did not get that one question
But,
about
dude,
the
you
HBO
had
show.
it. You can't really blame yourself. You knew it, but you didn't know it.
RA's losing sleep, guys.
So the question was, the question we lost to Dave Portnoy, that loser, that little midget. And what happened was we were pretty close. I think we were tied at the time, and the television category came up. And the question was HBO series created in 2016 by M. Night Shyamalan. What's the name? Now, the name is The Night Of. RA is our TV guy, so we kind of go to him. But I should have known that too, RA, because I watched the show. And RA couldn't have it. And he said, end of night. Like, you had the night. And then, boom, they got it quick. And then they were able to use their lifeline with Fran from Barstool, who helped them get Pam and Tommy for their question on the Hulu series that was created about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. So that was kind of the end of us. That's all we had. And boom, we had to lose in that first round, didn't get to the finals.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
tough loss.
Eddie was on fire. Hey, and when we do those Barstool things, like, I think we're outnumbered as far as Barstool fans to Chiclets fans. So Eddie was getting his name screamed there. I felt like I was playing a road game. I was intimidated.
I was getting booed when I came out. I heard the boo birds. I was like, flashbacks
Well, you're playing
to
against
Edmonton.
Portnoy. You're playing against Portnoy, and I think everybody knows. I know you guys are buddies, but there's a little bit of natural hatred there, and we might as well talk about that too. And the fact that we did a fucking Sandbagger with Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards, and it's probably being labeled the number one worst day of Dave Portnoy's life, which that's a win in itself right there.
At one point, he came up to me quietly, like if there was no cameras and no microphones doing the same thing, he goes, "This is the worst fucking day of my life, and somebody should put a bullet in Biz's skull for bringing me to this goddamn golf course." I said to him, "That's all I needed to hear. That's music to my ears, you little motherfucker, because that's all I wanted was to ruin your day." I cannot describe this Sandbagger. There was a clip that was put on Twitter of me and him arguing over the most ridiculous drop in the history of golf. I felt like I played a 5-5 in the coast, traveling 5 hours to each game, 5 nights in a row when that match ended. The course was impossible. One of the hardest. We met the owner, Wayne McBeam, right when we got there, and he said, "Hey, this is the hardest course in Arizona." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, bud." This course was a fucking bowling alley.
It was a Saw movie.
Not to mention, in perfect weather, it would have been hard. With 35-mile-an-hour winds the entire time, it was a torture chamber. I can't thank him enough for getting us on the course. We had nothing going with that week in the Waste Management and the Super Bowl. There's no golf available. So we were able to get this done. But I've never been more mentally exhausted from the arguing, from the wind, from my putting, from it all. It was a complete gong show. And what I think will turn out to be a really good video. I don't know how. Thank you to Pasha, Sean, and the rest of the crew that gets things done. But that was a joke.
I said at dinner that night, the only way to describe it is I felt that I'd been to war.
Jesus Christ.
No, all right, I can't
like
even describe this to you. This place.
I'm not kidding, and I know people might get upset by me over-exaggerating about this. I felt like I stormed the beaches at Normandy after that round of golf. You know the opening scene of Private Ryan?
People are screaming.
But a double dicky, 2 of those. Like they're back, just like Witt after taking that L on the 244.
Loser lap.
Loser. I was doing. Oh my God. It was just an impossible golf course. I didn't enjoy myself either. But hey, still a lot of entertainment. We got to meet Josh Richards, RA. Last year, he was announced as an ambassador to the NHL. Monster on social media. He's originally from Canada. God, am I drawing a blank on where he's from? He's from Cobourg, Ontario. The Cobourg Cougars. They got a junior team there. This kid became famous on TikTok and blew up on social media. And he's 20, just turned 21. For a 21-year-old, one of the most highly intellectual people I've ever met based on age. Just an absolute G.
Yeah, and I was impressed after. I was asking him all about kind of his life story, how this all came about. He was explaining it all to me and Merle's. And I'll say, like, I put a picture of him and myself on my Instagram and had a lot of comments. "Oh, is that kid a piece of shit? Oh, what a little pussy he looks like." I'm like, dude, you got this kid all wrong. And I'm assuming some of his dances in the past and maybe currently on TikTok, people just think they may know what he's like. He's an awesome kid, really mature, good person.
Yeah, I took a peek at his Instagram DMs. I'm going to be starting to do those fucking dances all over our Twitter page, our Instagram page. I don't give a fuck. You should have seen the check marks hitting this dude up.
People talking shit. They're all a bunch of people who would never ever say a fucking word to his face. That's,
Let's put it this way: the people chirping are paying to beat the wheels off their cock on OnlyFans to the girls that he's bringing out on dates.
Boom.
Those same girls.
Got that.
That's
Well
how
said.
shit's going down, all right. But
before
all
we
right.
oh yeah.
I want to
Go
know more. Like, listen, don't be too hard on yourself about the dozen thing, dude. You bring it every time. If it wasn't for you and Witt, we wouldn't even be in the mix. I also missed the face mashup question. How else was your night and then I guess the rest of your weekend?
Whoa. I know our listeners are probably sick of airline industry horror stories, but
No,
I'm
let's hear it.
the latest victim. Okay, I had a red eye Saturday night. I was supposed to get in it Sunday morning, taking off 11:50 local time. I was on the plane. The Empire Strikes Back was on the TV. I was like, perfect, I'll fall asleep to this. 2 hours later, I wake up. We haven't moved a foot. We're still in the tarmac. 2 o'clock in the morning, JetBlue was like, "Sorry, folks, park's closed for 2 weeks for repair and cleaning. Sorry." I was like, no hotel voucher, no food voucher, no taxi, nothing. Like, they're like, "See you tomorrow, 1 o'clock." There was no 1 o'clock
1
flight.
p.m.?
That's what another passenger told me, because I'll tell you that part of the story after I had to go back and get some goods that were taken at TSA by accident. So fucking nothing. Like, they give you nothing. I'm like, I'm not going to call someone now and go to the house. So I literally slept on a fucking chair at Phoenix Harbor International Airport. 2 o'clock, 2:30, I fell asleep. I'll tell you, got a pretty good solid 6 or 7 considering it was a major international airport.
Hold on. You mangle yourself before flights, too, so you were probably crippled.
I had a decent buzz, but I was definitely not mangled. I mean, I probably would have zonked out for the flight. I met a buddy of mine from Salty who coincidentally was in town for the day. I had a great day with him at that bar. What's it called? Cheeseburgers and cold beer. What a great name.
Yeah, that's where I went Tuesday night. Great spot.
They're going to be carrying Big Deal Brew pretty soon. That's a fucking natural
So
shout
I
out.
texted Merles, where are you? He's like, cheeseburgers and cold beer. I'm like, all right, get me one of each. And then I'm like, where are you? He's like, cheeseburgers and cold beers. I was like, who's on first? I finally Googled it. I'm like, oh, that's the name of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, it sucks. They, like G was saying a few weeks ago, they fuck you over and they do nothing about it. I mean, like, you know, what about people who don't have the wherewithal or the means to just go anywhere? I mean, I got a credit card. I could pay if I want to go somewhere cash or whatever, but I was stuck there and there was no reason to leave, and I got up and I got put on a later flight. I ended up hitting up our contact at Barstool for a different flight. And, yeah, it was just a pain in the ass, man. I mean, I haven't slept in an airport since probably, no offense, with 08 Stanley Cup when Pittsburgh and Detroit. It's probably the last time I actually slept in an airport.
On that, Whit. He brought it up for that reason, too.
Oh, and also, I lost my fucking license in the airport during my travels trying to get a fucking flight, too. But
all right, 2 questions I got.
Yeah.
JetBlue, that's obviously the same one that Grinelli flew on. So this airline, their move is board the plane, get them rolled out, put them on the fucking, what do you call that when you leave? The tarmac. And then just fugazi it, bring it back in, the fish hook as they call it. And then number 2 is, did you basically just say that the TSA agent took edibles from you? Is that
no? This is so. I was going through, and I know you usually need about 3 or 4 of those trays because you got some places you got to put sneakers in, some places
3 or 4.
Could you imagine? It's like a clown car what he's pulling out of his fucking sweatpants pockets.
One for my luggage bag, the small Panthers bag I have. One for my carry-on bag, sneakers, then your laptop and your MacBook. Those are like they.
Oh, I threw all that stuff in one.
But dude, it depends what airport. Some of them are fucking. You know, they make you do it a different way. There's no consistency. So I had him there, and the guy was like, "Oh, you got 4 trays. Like, give me." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I sometimes need them." And he put the tray with my laptop and MacBook and fucking tablet through the thing. So of course that sets off the buzz, and the other guy in the other room is like, "Oh, we got to put it back through." So I grabbed my bag. I went to the airplane. I get on. I looked at my bag to grab my tablet. They're fucking both gone. They took them out of my bag and like without notifying me. So I'm sitting. I'm like, fuck. I don't have my laptop.
I think that happens every time you fly, unless you.
Usually
go
they got to bring you over to that little table, and you got to stand there and watch them. Like there's an awkward 30 seconds where they're swiping your shit with that thing to then test for explosives. You're like, no, my deodorant stick doesn't have any napalm in it, buddy. Give me my bag back. Yeah. But you just didn't even get brought over there?
No, they didn't tell me they were taking out of the bag. They said, "Oh, we got to run it through again." That's what he said. So I didn't realize they took it out. So when I got on the plane, they were gone. But then, of course, the flight was canceled, so I was able to get my shit back before, the shit really hit the fan. But just an absolute clusterfuck. And as for JetBlue Biz, I've been using them since day one. I know that, they've kind of like gotten a little worse over the years. They're adding seats, taking seats out. But that was my first like truly shitty experience I had with them. I know everybody's got their favorite airlines, whatever.
Wow.
But either way, I got home in time.
JetBlue endorsement.
I'm flying. I've had success with JetBlue too till recently. Now Ryder and I are flying down Wednesday to Florida. We're going down for 10 days as a family. My wife's taking Wyatt Tuesday. Talk about
2 individual missions.
Talk about winning. Talk about winning. Getting to take Ryder and not Kooky, not Head, Hootie, nuts Wyatt, the nastiest motherfucker alive when he's pissed off. So I'm not going to say anything bad about JetBlue. Besides the last time I landed in Boston at JetBlue, we landed at 10. I got to the baggage right at 10 o'clock. I got to the baggage claim at 10:25. So whatever. We taxied, got off the plane. I got to the baggage claim 10:25. At Logan Airport, our bags came out at 11:40 p.m. An hour and 15 minutes sitting there waiting for your bags. So I think JetBlue's got big time employment issues right now. But like I said, I'm flying them Wednesday, so I'm big fans.
Thanks for the reminder. I got to go over and get my bag because it was checked on the original flight, so it's probably sitting in a fucking office somewhere too.
And thank you, Chiclets fans, for
How's this hockey
this week's
podcast
therapy
going?
session on travel.
Seriously, we should move on to the thriller of a Super Bowl. KC wins 38-35. I know there was a lot of talk about that holding penalty at the end of the game.
Bullshit call.
James Bradbury, he said, it was a holding. I tugged his jersey. I was hoping they would let it slide. I know Whit had a pretty big tweet about that. Overall, though, I mean, that was one of the best Super Bowls ever.
What
top
a
3,
game.
top 5, Whit.
What a football game. I bet the Chiefs solely because everyone was on the Eagles and everyone stinks at gambling. And I was really, Big Cat, our boy Big Cat, had an $8,000 preseason 22-1 bet to take home $219,000 on the Eagles winning it all. So I was going to be really happy for him if the Eagles won. All my buddies were on the Eagles, but I just said I can't sit around and bet who everyone else has bet. We all stink at gambling. So I went with the Chiefs. I was just hoping for a good game. I also had Travis Kelce touchdown reception minus 123. That hit. I think, like, God, I wish I put more on that. That guy's automatic. But, man, the Eagles had it. And then some sort of halftime adjustment made by Andy Reid and the Chiefs. They scored on every single possession of the second half. And Patrick Mahomes. Well, first, let's say Jalen Hurts. What an athlete, what a competitor, what a dog. And if you remember, Jalen Hurts was the starting star quarterback at Alabama. He got pulled at halftime of the national title game where Tua Tagovailoa, whatever you say his name, ended up going in and beating Clemson. I think it was Clemson in a miraculous second half comeback. Jalen Hurts then went back to Alabama, was the backup the entire year, then transferred to Oklahoma, played there, was picked into the NFL. So talk about a guy who's been through a lot of adversity. That's just an amazing athlete, and I think that if you look as an Eagles fan, the fact you got this guy as your QB, what a stud. He was incredible. I think no quarterback had ever had 2 rushing TDs in a Super Bowl. He had 3, along with getting that 2-point conversion in a tough-ass run to tie that ball game up. But just an amazing game. And my problem with the holding call, and everyone's writing to me, yeah, Bradbury said he held him. Okay, that's awesome. And you got to respect James Bradbury for saying that and being open and honest. Like, yeah, I held him. I hope they let him. I wish they'd let me get away with it. That play happens all game long, 50 times a game. And I understand if it's a holding penalty, the fact that it's uncatchable doesn't matter. I guess on some penalties, if it's an uncatchable ball, it won't be a penalty because the guy couldn't have caught it. So holding makes uncatchable not be a reason that it can't be a penalty. But it was uncatchable. That plays happen so often. The Chiefs still would have been able to kick that field goal, and we would have been able to have this incredible 2-minute or minute 30 drive for the Eagles to try to tie the game up or maybe win it with a touchdown. It was more disappointment in the fact that a ticky-tack play, and I guess understandably it was a penalty, but with how many different penalties they'd missed throughout the game, to call that, to create a scenario where Kansas City can just run down the clock and kick the game-winning field goal. It just robs the fans of what this amazing game had brought us to a conclusion of possibly this unbelievable last chance for Hurts and Philly to tie the game up and then maybe overtime. So just kind of a bummer of an ending for what was just an incredible football game. I mean, I the whole time you were like, wow, I think Mahomes got hurt again. He busted up that ankle before the second half. What's going to happen in the second half? Eagles are up 10. Chiefs come out gangbusters. Just an awesome game.
I was going to piggyback your comments about that Jalen Hurts. I watch his post-game interviews all the time. Oh, my God, does he ever have a good head on his shoulders. Always saying the most positive things. He's very strong in his faith. And I'm sure he leaned on it hard when he went through those difficult times at not only getting taken out of the national championship game, but having to transfer and kind of, reinvent yourself in a new system. But fuck, the couple years he's had as a pro already. And I mean, the one mistake he made when he fumbled the ball and they went and scored a touchdown, they went and scored on the next drive. So he's got
I think
that
he's
fucking,
mentally tough, dude.
He's got that dog in him for sure. And yes, I think that holding call ruined the game where KC would have basically kicked the 3 points at that time, and then they would have gotten about a minute and a half to go back the other way and
I think it would have been 1, maybe 2 timeouts with around a minute and a half.
Yeah. So I thought it was a Bush League call, which was a shitty ending to an amazing game. But Patrick Mahomes,
holy shit.
It's kind of like, were they not comparing him and McDavid when they were comparing most dominant athletes to their sports? I guess after the performance he put on one leg and winning the Super Bowl, I guess the PMT boys might be one in the win column there.
I know. And let me say this, you talk about Russian gas and all the experiences in the KHL. Who the fuck knows what they put in his body at halftime?
Bud Kilmer came in.
But
Yo,
Kilmer
Billy Bob special.
ripping down the statue of poor buddy boy. But 5 years as a starter, 5 AFC title games, 3 Super Bowls, 2 regular season MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's not even 30 years old. So you're looking at a guy, I mean, I don't know if he'll ever cement Brady as the greatest of all time. Now, if he were to go on and win 5 regular season MVPs and 5 Super Bowls, even though Brady's got 7 and maybe 4 Super Bowl MVPs, it's certainly a discussion. The amazing thing is they lost Tyreek Hill. They got rid of this like dynamic wide receiver, and they go back to the Super Bowl and they get it done. So what an amazing athlete that guy is. What's cool too is I think Hurts and, if I'm not mistaken, Hurts and Mahomes are both from Texas, and they were like the 30th and 50th highest rated QB in their recruiting classes. Obviously playing big high school football, so it's like all you kids out there, you just keep grinding, dude. Don't let anyone fucking talk you down,
right.
make you think you can't do it. If you're undersized,
Fucking A.
there's parts of your game that lack. Last thing on the Super Bowl, sorry, Biz. The NFL is unbelievable. They're fucking goons. They blew themselves for 20 hours leading up to the Super Bowl about their homegrown field. They grew a field for the last 11 months. We grew this field in Greenland. It's unbelievable. We have all this special grass in there. It was the worst field I've ever seen a football game played on. The kicker was falling over on kickoffs. Guys were changing cleats every 10 minutes, it felt like. And the NFL had already circle jerked themselves prior to the game about their amazing field and the Sodfather guy who's built 45 fields in the last 45 years.
Yeah.
So just a classic move by the NFL to just think they got it all figured out.
Well, you didn't
only
hear
to
what
then see
happened?
guys playing on ice.
It was the grass they're supposed to put on the roofs. They got them mixed up. So that guy put the wrong grass. And then they fucking painted it so it made it even
the grass
worse.
RA left at the TSA pre-check.
Then he gets stoned to the bejesus after the game.
Oh, my God.
We don't say this lightly in Boston, but Mahomes may very well surpass Brady. I mean,
Like,
wait,
he
I said
could.
that even
Right
before
now,
the
he
game
could.
yesterday. I've never seen a QB quite like this guy. Just
You think he'll
the way he
ever
acts in the
surpass
fly.
Rodgers?
He already
Brother.
has.
Come on, motherfucker! I got to be better than that.
He's got 5. He's got. He'd be
fuck
a Hall
yeah, I
of
was about
Famer
to
if he
get suckered
retired,
to
right?
this- What?
What's that?
Mahomes would be in the Hall of Fame if he retired tomorrow, right?
I say the same thing
Yeah.
about McDavid. Sheer dominance
Oh, yeah.
on a period of time, same thing. So, anyway.
And win or lose, Philly fans make a mess of their city. They were tipping cars over before the game started. I mean, I'm all for being a big fan, but like a lot of donkeyiness went on there. I mean, they're out fucking in the streets after a loss, like chanting and shit. Come on, clean it up, Philly. You're better than that, or are you? I don't know. Fucking you out there, oh, fucking Chiefs suck. Dude, you lost. You just lost the Super Bowl. You're in the street fucking chanting about the team that beat you.
Let it out, RA.
Tough look, Philly. I love you guys, but it's a tough look. All right, I know people waiting for hockey are probably getting impatient. We have an
No,
awesome
they already
guest.
left.
Yeah, I know.
We're down to about 16 listeners right now.
Good.
We have an awesome
You don't
guest
wanna
coming up.
hear-
No
Buffalo
pressure,
defenseman.
guys.
Complaints in life about airlines and Super Bowl breakdowns that has probably been repeated by 40 other people. And I'm glad you left and you weren't listening. I don't know why I'm saying that. If
It's
you're not
45 minutes of therapy to start our podcast from now on.
There you go. Well, we do have Buffalo defenseman Rasmus Dahlin coming on in a little bit. Awesome interview. This kid come in. I think it was probably the best interview of my time at the All-Star game. Just very, what's the word I'm thinking? Charismatic fellow, man. He was happy to be there. You could tell, and I think it comes through in the interview. So,
Just shitting on Rod the Bod.
oh, shoot. Oh, well,
Shitting on his games
Well, Biz
planned.
wasn't there for Rod the Boy. He doesn't remember it.
Yeah,
that's a
how
wicked
was that
Twitter
one,
comment.
guys?
You don't mention someone else, so that means you hate them. What about Rod the Bod?
Swedes are just amazing people. They're all class. They're super friendly. They're well-spoken. They're charismatic. And Rasmus Dahlin, he's got a bright future. And with what he kind of led into us or told us about his drive to be the best, you're only going to see bigger and better things from him.
Absolutely. Well, one big name is no longer on the trading block after being dealt last Thursday to the Rangers. They got Vladimir Tarasenko and defenseman Nico Mikola from the Blues for Sammy Blais, prospect Hunter Skinner, a conditional first in 23 and a conditional fourth in 24. St. Louis retained half of Tarasenko's $7.5 million salary. He'll be a UFA this summer. The defenseman Mikola, he'll be UFA as well, making 1.9. Boys, this is a huge pickup for the Rangers. He scored, I think, his second shift first shot on goal. The question to you, Biz, are they still Fugazi even after picking up a guy like Tarasenko?
Dude,
No.
they're not anymore.
No,
Mark it down,
in fact, they're the for realsies.
You're not
Not the
mid.
Fugazis.
You're
They're
not,
the
and they really
for-realsies.
haven't been mid for quite a while either.
Oh
dude.
my god, no, they
Aren't
have
they
not
like
been mid.
24-4 in their last 28 games?
Yeah, no. Since we've said they were mid, they have just been fist fucking us right in the ass. And I'll tell you what, Dolan should be getting Chris Drury a lifetime membership to the Western Garden in New York City after that fucking trade that he pulled off. I don't think that he's personally made a bad move yet since he's been in charge of the New York Rangers. Talk about a quick fucking rebuild, and to the point where I think that that's sneaky might be the best pickup of the deadline. And obviously Lou got everything rolling. Tarasenko, it felt like he was unmotivated at the point where he left St. Louis. I feel like there was
For 2
something
years,
that,
Biz.
it's been a long time since his name has been coming up in the trade blocks. Everybody thought, based on what they felt the relationship between him and St. Louis, and maybe even Berube after their cup run, was that he was going to get picked up in the expansion draft. Well, that I think surprised everybody, and he wasn't. And then this lingered and lingered and lingered. He dealt with injuries, one of which was shoulder surgery, where he was out. You know, you worry as a sniper, a guy who relies on his shot as part of his craft, you know, will ever come back to being what it once was. So I think that with him being healthy and him being completely rejuvenated and going to another team where he's going to be welcomed by other star players on the team and other Russians in the locker room, Panarin being the biggest guy, that is so fucking big for him. And then for him to score in that first game and get the praise and the love from the fans for a guy who was probably felt unappreciated. I'm not saying who's right or wrong here based on the relationship with St. Louis and how it fizzled out. I'm just talking from a personal player who felt that he'd brought in a lot to an organization, helped win a Stanley Cup. He felt underappreciated. And you saw in the post game after he was given the Broadway hat and the chants and everything, it was like, oh no, man. New York went and got the right guy, and this is going to work out perfectly. And on top of that, for Drury, and the reason I say he deserves a lifetime pass at the West Garden is because he goes out and also gets Mikkola, another big defenseman. Their back end are monsters.
The Tampa
go
method.
through them. What?
The Tampa method.
They're
Big on the back end.
Mikkola is 6'5", obviously being from, I believe he's from Finland. He's a Finnish kid. They're always decent skaters, and a guy maybe early in his career, much like when we had Chara on, you know, that's kind of the last thing to come in the coordination. He's a decent skater, long stick, and he's going to be a perfect bottom pair guy for what potentially is going to be a long cup run. They got the goaltending. They got an unbelievable offensive dynamic to the back end where Fox is kind of the A1 guy, where Keandre Miller doesn't really need to be. He could be that like 1B defenseman providing offense. And the other guys just kind of get your fucking job done. And as far as what they got up front now, it alleviates so much pressure from all the other superstars and goal guys they have up front. I mean, you got Panarin, of course. You got Zibanejad, who's having an incredible year. You had Kreider, who started off a little bit quiet, but is now heating up. You got so many star players you can rely on for offense, where sometimes deeper in these runs with this organization, at least in the past when they had Lundqvist, that was one thing that they lacked, that second bolster of offense. And you saw it fizzle out last year in the conference finals. So I just, against Tampa. So overall, the trade is incredible for the New York Rangers. They're not the Fugazi, so great question, RA. Fuck, who knows? After a few more weeks of seeing what I see, maybe I'll even hop on the bandwagon.
Ooh, you would. Hey, you would.
Oh, yeah? You think I would?
I'll say there were maybe some worries about like how much he's kind of been dogging it. Now, he did break his hand this year and missed a little time. But it's almost one of those things where I think Drury looks at it and says, all right, well, it's all about motivation. He comes here. Him and Panarin have played together for Russia before. Apparently, actually, Tarasenko, I don't know where I was reading or heard this, had had wanted the Blues to sign Panarin when he came over in Chicago, got him, and they said he was too small. So I think a lot of teams might have thought that. He's been amazing. And then just to see Panarin get 4 goals the other night, like how comfortable he is. The Zibanejad, Panarin, Tarasenko line can match up with any other first line in the league. Defensively, who knows? But I mean, the way they score, it's not a big worry. And the other thing about the Rangers is like they're going to play the Devils in the first round. That will be my largest wager in first round series. I'm sorry to tell the Rangers fans that. They're going to pound the Devils. They're going to piss pump the Devils. And then, dude, they've run the Hurricanes show. There's something about the Hurricanes. They lost to them the other night, too, with the Panarin 4-goal game. They can't beat the Rangers. So that's probably going to be the second round matchup again. Now, Carolina's got a lot of work to do, and they're not going to sit quiet as this deadline goes by. They're going to go out and get someone. But this Rangers team, Mikkola, he's going to take over that spot with Braden Schneider on the 5th and 6th defenseman instead of that Ben Harper kid who's whatever. They've tried getting him in there, but that's a big-time upgrade. Now, Vesey, another Drury masterpiece. He brings him back on a PTO this year. Look at the season he's having. He actually was getting a chance in that first line. He slides down now. They got the kids back together. The Rangers have a hell of a team. They really do. And now it's exciting to know you have just another game breaker that can score a ton of goals. And for him to get that first goal, it's like, same with Horvat, who I think has 3 goals already for the Islanders in 4 games. It's like you need that first one. All right, I'm on the team. I'm comfortable. I have a goal. There's a big difference between being on the team and being a goal scorer and then getting your first one. So an amazing move by Chris Drury and getting it done early, which is smart. I mean, it sucks for Darren Pang and all the crew at Sportsnet as well, along with TSN, who does the trade deadline shows. They're shaking in their boots as every trade happens closer before the deadline day. But an awesome move and a team that's definitely set up to go on a run. What do you got, G?
I know I got a feud going with Lou, but I just want to give him a little bit of praise here. I appreciate him getting the party started a little bit early. I think with the Horvat move, that really got the ball rolling on teams being like, I'd rather strike now than later, because there are so many hungry teams at the deadline. And I think how much the East is loading up right now, I think this adds so much pressure, and you just touched on it, on Carolina's plate. Carolina has to make a move. They have to make a move. Not just a mid-move, a big move.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the Patrick Kane comments? He seemed a little bit upset about the Tarasenko deal.
So, all right, why don't you read the exact quote?
Yeah, Patrick Kane, not too thrilled about the trade. I said, quote, "It's not like the happiest I've been to hear about a trade, but I think the Rangers, I definitely pay attention to, intrigued by for obvious reasons. Just if things are going to happen, that was a team I was definitely looking at. It seems like they kind of filled their void and went ahead and made a deal. So it is what it is." So it sounds like he had his heart set on going to Manhattan, no?
I mean, I would have loved to have seen it. I mean, that would have been far more blockbuster newsworthy when it originally happened. So from watching Kane this year, there's definitely frustration just on the lack of talent that surrounds him. Based on his career, his line mates right now, and not taking anything away from any guys he's playing, they're just like not up to the caliber in which he was, winning 3 Stanley Cups with. So his production hasn't been there. And in some cases, effort's not the word, but maybe it looked like he was banged up and maybe he was playing through something, which seemed to have been the rumor and a reason why maybe New York stayed away from it was because of a hip issue. Now that was kind of put to rest as to where it's in way better shape than last year, which doesn't necessarily mean that there's not anything there. And maybe this is something that can be taken care of after the season. So maybe they looked at him as damaged goods, and also partly as like, based on production this year, maybe he doesn't have gas left in the tank. Now, would I love Patrick Kane to get fucking traded and shove that, whatever I just said, right up my hoop too? Yeah, I want to see him get traded. I kind of want to see him go to the Leafs, but somehow have everybody retain salary to where they can somehow squeeze it in. I don't think it can work. I'm not a rocket Scientologist. Talk to Dubas, right? I think it's good for the game if Patrick Kane ends up somewhere because he's a big name. But I don't know. I also don't think that at this point, based on what he's done this season and maybe with how teams can manage the cap situation, I don't think he's going to command back maybe what Davidson is expecting. Like, I think that if you could somehow package them and go to the same place, you can maybe get a first and a prospect out of it. But I don't know, man. Like, what do you guys think? Based on what you've seen so far as production this year, based on what you've heard about the hip situation, and what you have to do in order to maybe potentially give up and then work it out within your cap, potentially give away a valuable piece in your lineup that's helping you at this current moment for a gamble.
In those quotes, didn't he also mention that like his hip injury's been kind of overblown a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
pretty
like,
much.
it's one of those things where, yeah, his numbers are down. I mean, he's not having a Patrick Kane year, but I mean, he had 92 points last year. He's still producing on a horrible team. Wherever he goes, oh my God, the rejuvenation, what we're talking about with Tarasenko, you're going to see a superstar again. Now, the question being, it's up to him. And it's so clear through those quotes that with all the media discussion about Patrick Kane to the New York Rangers, it actually in his mind was the spot. And you kind of always wondered that. That was the first time you really heard him say that's kind of what he wanted. So now, completely probably improbable at this point, the Rangers could still get him. I don't necessarily see it happening, but there is a possibility that it could happen. But it just comes down to where he wants to go. And you know, he's going to have to look at, he's not going to go anywhere that doesn't, in his mind, have a chance to raise the cup. So he's going to now look around and then, like, do those teams want to try to finagle him? That's the thing, Biz. I just want it to happen for the fans and for our sake in terms of, like, watching Patrick Kane in the playoffs again.
Well, let's say a prayer.
Let's say a prayer.
Let's say a prayer to the hockey gods. Here, hold my hand, guys.
All right.
How you doing?
Dear hockey gods. For the boys in blue, they need a winger for my boy AM34, and we need to keep him in
fuck
town.
that. I'm not praying for the Leafs, bitch.
We're gonna
Dad.
play
No
for the
prayer.
Toronto
No need
Maple
prayer.
Leafs.
The Leafs need bottom
Pagan.
6 players.
Give me Patrick Kane.
Pagan.
Lord Jesus, give me Patrick Kane to the blue. The boys in blue.
Kane, he's got 9 goals, 26 assists for 35 points in 48 games played. But like you just said, Whit, going to another team in the cup race would totally, I think, rejuvenate him, whatever injuries aside from that. So, as always, we'll keep our ear to the
All right,
grindstone,
give me
see
one
what
team.
happens.
Just give me one team prediction where you think Patrick Kane's going.
Fuck, man. Dallas. Based on just,
That's kind of what I was going to say. What about
yeah, okay, Whit. Monday quarterback.
What about,
Him and Sagan played together in Switzerland too during the lockout. Remember that time? They just absolutely lit it up.
Little
the West is so open.
Oh, absolutely.
Vegas, maybe.
Which prospect are they going to trade for him?
I know.
I'm going to say Toronto.
Edmonton?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's $10.5 million contract. They might have to, like, put some money elsewhere. They might have to do a dollar in, dollar out type thing. So, I don't know. Remains to be seen.
I know it's supposed to be later, but you just said the name Edmonton, and the speculation at the fact that Erik Karlsson might get traded means we have to talk about this right now.
Okay, yeah.
Connor McDavid, he's going to get his Paul Coffey. If you're going to sling it offensively and do it that way, you got to go all in. And I'm not saying Tyson Barrie can't help provide the offense or Darnell Nurse can't help provide offense along with some of the other guys, Bouchard. But imagine with the season that Erik Karlsson's having to go there. He's on pace for 100 points.
I saw a tweet by an Edmonton reporter that mentioned for all the people or Edmonton fans who kind of talk about how difficult the deal would be to make to get Karlsson and how much you'd possibly have to give up, blah, blah, blah. Let's remind them all that he has more even strength goals this year than Leon Draisaitl. It's like you're talking about a truly Hall of Fame legend defenseman who's back to his ways of 2000, whatever, 15, 16, 17, where it was this guy was just he's the best defenseman in the league right now. And now Cale Makar's been battling injury all year. It's not to say he's not the best overall, but Erik Karlsson is like, holy shit. Now, the issue being the amount of money that would have to be eaten by San Jose. So they'd have to eat half of his salary. It's for fucking 3 more years. Or it could be for 4 more years, I think.
Well, McDavid's not going to be there, so don't worry about the years past this year. Just focus on now.
Yeah, with 32-year-old Carlson, you've been hearing his name for weeks now. He's got 4 more years after the season at $11.5 million per year, full no move clause, and even if San Jose eats some dough, it's still going to be a tough fit. Elliot Friedman said Saturday that in order for the Oilers to get him, the price would need to be in the $6.5-7 million range. Not to mention him being willing to relocate to Edmonton, and San Jose wanting to eat that much money. Because if they do, the Sharks will be looking at a nearly $7 million dead cap space hit for this year, next year, and then $5 million for the next 2 years after that. So that's a big hit just to get rid of a guy. Ken Holland did say any trade would be dollar in, dollar out, which means that Edmonton would have to part with a guy or two, which who knows what kind of chemistry alteration that could affect. And Friedman also threw Shane Gostisbehere's name out there, 29-year-old defenseman in the last year of a deal, paying him $4.5 million. Not a bad little project if you can't get Carlson, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
that's a Costco brand Carlson.
I can kind of say this, guys, because I was somebody who could just snap a tape-to-tape pass from his own defensive zone to the neutral zone, maybe creating breakaways and 2-on-1s. I could do that, Biz. I know you couldn't. I know you were flicking it off the glass and out, but I was snapping it, and sometimes I was saucing it. The Oilers need a guy to just snap it up to these forwards. Yeah. And when you're talking about Carlson, yeah, he's the ultimate goal. Shane Gostisbehere's playing some fucking hockey these past few years. And that guy can pass a puck. He can get up in the rush. Those are the type of players the Oilers need. So they're going to do something. Carlson would be the ideal one. That's just so much math. And I'm a math guy. It's so many different. Now, I guess I guess another puzzle. Team could also take part of the money if you went 3-way. Then my head's going to explode trying to figure that out. Where San Jose wouldn't have to eat like $5 or $6 million. They could eat 2.5. But it's still kind of a gong show to think of what would have to happen in mid-season for this to go down.
As the Oiler guy, who do you got walking the plank? Who are you okay with them parting with? Do you want Jack Campbell and the kitty cat to walk the plank? Well, you got to be a GM here. You got to put the GM hat on.
Well, I'm assuming no more salary wise and what he does, I would guess it'd be Tyson Barrie, but I don't want him gone.
That's too much mojo in the locker room. You're losing.
I know he seems like a guy who the team loves and he's playing good. You know, it's just like, but with Carlson there, it's kind of like you'd think if you're saying money in, money out, and a righty offensive defenseman, right? What else are you looking at? I don't know. The Oilers are. They had a real stinker in Montreal on Sunday, but they are a fucking hockey team, dude, and they have their bottom 6 every 2 weeks. They're getting better and better and better, and they're going to win the West. You heard it here first.
Ooh, they had a fun Canadian road trip, a good scrap. Kane had a great scrap with Brady Tkachuk as well. So, hey, boys had a little bit of fun in Montreal, and then they got the W in Ottawa, just as planned.
No, Ottawa was first, and then they probably had too much fun and got smoked by the Canadians.
Was it first? My bad. How about, did we talk about Connor and Leon growing the mullets?
No, I didn't even see that.
They're collectively growing mullets out. I don't know if they're doing it until playoffs or all the way. So, I don't know. Just thought I'd mention that. Anything Connor McDavid news you got to say.
Anything Arizona related. You got to bring up his mullet.
When I see Connor McDavid, I got to ask him if his dog's a legit moron because our dogs are from the same, what are they called?
Breeds?
Same place.
Same place?
Yeah, it's in Toronto. It's, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank because I think I was going to get a couple bucks off of Yoshi if I ended up bringing up the name of the breeder. My dog is so dumb. I'm telling you, he's the dumbest dog in the world. I love Yoshi with all my heart. He's a moron. And God knows what they're mixing up to make these dogs. So anytime I see him, I got to ask him, is your dog stupid?
Well, they say it's a reflection of its owner. Now, are you bringing it to
You call my wife stupid?
No, I'm saying you.
Because you didn't want it.
I didn't ask for the dog.
Well, have you been doing any teaching?
Yeah, we've done so much. He eats his own shit.
Oh, God, that's a tough
Dude,
dog.
he ate his own shit the other day. I'm like, how stupid are you, Yosh dog?
You going to put it on waivers?
When I got a dog, I always wanted to name him Dog. So he could be like, what up, dog?
I'll tell you what, Ravioli's a genius.
Shut up, Grinelli.
And I got her at a New York City pet store, so.
Oh, yeah. I got to ask you guys, would you gas the dog if it was eating its own shit?
No, you can't gas it.
I mean,
dude, what does that say about your character?
No, I'm just
You work with
I asked
flaws.
the question.
You help
wouldn't
them
do
not
it.
swallow their own turds. You don't kick them to the curb.
Yeah, you don't give them the needle because they fucking eat their own shit.
Yoshi, also, we're watching Yellowstone and 1883. 1883, what a fucking TV show, you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
you think Yellowstone's good? 1883 takes a shit and then eats it Yoshi style on Yellowstone. Every time a horse is shown, Yoshi jumps off the couch, goes up to the TV and barks.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
God.
bud, we've watched 12 episodes. It's on TV, Yoshi. I got to ask McDavid if his dog's an idiot. I have to know.
Oh, Jesus. Well, speaking of defensemen on the market, Sunday there was a rumor going around that Arizona's Jacob Chikrin had been dealt to L.A. Shout out Biz for that in the group text. But as of right now, when we're taping, there's been no official deal. But the team, I don't think I've ever seen a team tweet this out before. Before the game the other night, said Coyotes defenseman Jacob Chikrin is a healthy scratch tonight versus the St. Louis Blues due to trade-related reasons. I mean, maybe it's happened before with a team acknowledging that, like in a tweet, but I've never seen it before.
Like
He also
blocking rumors.
He also did not take part in the morning skate Monday, and reporter Adam Vingan, I hope I'm saying that right, tweeted that he was going to be scratched again for trade reasons, and the coach, Andre Turigny, said that he would remain out of the lineup until something happened. So I don't know how imminent something is for the 24-year-old, 16th overall pick back in 16. He's in his 7th season already. 28 points in 36 games. I mean, what's the most time you can sit a guy before you trade him with? Like, what's going to go on here?
Well, after the deadline, and if he doesn't get traded, fuck it. It ain't rocket Scientology, buddy.
He'll be traded. He'll
But
be
I got to
traded
ask you
soon.
a question.
Yeah.
Did you think when I texted that to the group chat that I was saying that it went through?
Yes, you wrote Chikrin to L.A.
Oh, dude, I was just kind of throwing it in the group, like what the conversation was going. I never said it happened.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was just more of a vague thing. It's like that's kind of the new rumor. Like if it was something confirmed, I would have sent the tweet, or Grinelli would have sent the tweet. But I believe that people still believe that there is a deal that's being worked out between the Kings to acquire Chikrin. So that's why I said, like, hey, kind of pay attention to this. My apologies if you guys assume that it had already gone through. RA, you live on Twitter. I would imagine you would have seen it as well.
Oh, no, I went and checked and verified, but no, it's busting chops, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just busting it back. Should we talk about what that does for the Kings?
Absolutely. I mean, just want to
I'll say this about the Kings quickly before you go, Biz. They pumped the Penguins 6-0 Saturday night. It was Dustin Brown night. The atmosphere looks beyond electric in that building. Now, granted, it's a 6-0 win in which Crosby gets kicked out of the game for the first time in his career. Look out for LA, man. And if they bring in Chikrin, who's like just under a point per game and a plus player on the Coyotes, wow.
Well, I mean, they're getting decent goaltending right now. It's kind of rounding out from Copley's maybe original play. But overall, I mean, talk about if Chikrin goes there too. The guys they got on their team. Imagine going out to the club with those guys. They got Fiala, Chikrin, Kempe. Oh my God, the residuals. Like, give them the cup. Beckham's going to be back over there hanging out with the boys. And they're getting their mojo back. They had the Dustin Brown night too, so seems like things around the Kings are revamping. But it would just bolster that back end. They got Doughty, who provides offense and can move the puck. They got Dursey, who provides offense and can move the puck. Obviously, Chikrin, being as physically gifted as he is, I would say he's a pretty well-rounded defenseman. I don't know where he would fit in on the power play, whether they would have him right off the hop playing first unit. He does have a pretty lethal shot, and they use him for a lot of that on the Coyotes power play. They were using him as a forward at one point as the flanker. And sometimes when they wouldn't respect him in the middle, he'd be at a dead stop still, and he'd fucking zing one in with like a snapper, which from at the top of the circles, like you got to be able to shoot some peas if you're doing that. So overall, and then they got that Anderson kid, and we're going to get to the issue with him and Crosby the other night. They got some good defensive defensemen who play with a little bit of a mean streak, like that Roy kid as well. All of a sudden, their top six in the West is better than anyone's. And then, listen, I have it pulled up right now because I knew we were going to get into it eventually. Look at their projected forward lines. Byfield, Kopitar, Kempe, Moore, Deneau, Arvidsson, Fiala, Lizotte, Iafallo, and then they got that fourth line of Anderson, Dolan, Kapari, and Kaliev. Still time at the deadline here. Maybe if you want to bring in like a little bit of a veteran presence for that fourth line center role. But those top 9, along with that back end in above average goaltending, I think that they're, in my opinion, they're the favorite in the West, or at least going to be one of my favorites in the West.
Chikrin has 2 more years after this year at $4.6 million and a modified no-trade clause. That's a pretty good bargain, whoever gets him. Another name, Biz, we've heard mentioned, and I don't know if it's just the rumor shit, Karel Vejmelka, the goalie for Arizona. He's been unbelievable for them this year. If they really want to tank for Bedard, man, they would trade him. He's got 2 more years at $2.725 million. I don't know, man. That's something to keep an eye on as well. Do you think he ends up getting dealt, Vejmelka, Biz?
I'm telling you that based on his play and what he signed for the next 2 years for a team that doesn't have goaltending, I would say minimum a first, another decent pick like a second or third rounder, and a prospect. He's one of the best goalies in the league as far as like facing high danger chances. Sometimes teams get a little bit weary because getting all those shots and getting outshot most nights could sometimes inflate the numbers to where you're overvaluing how good he is. I believe on sheer athleticism, this guy is the real deal. He's still very young too. But the thing about Chikrin too that we didn't talk about is now they're talking about the fact that they would retain salary as well. So all of a sudden, one of the best, if not the best currently available, if Carlson's not waiving his clause to go to fucking Edmonton, that's another guy they should try to pursue, especially at doing so with a discount. But getting a guy of that magnitude at, let's say, if it's even half his current price right now, that is huge. Like,
and he's only making 4.6.
He's making 4.6. So all of a sudden you're paying a guy 2.3 who's probably on a Stanley Cup winning team. I'd say he's a between a 3 and a 4 defenseman. Fuck,
really?
Those cost you on a Stanley Cup winning team.
I thought he was like at least a 2 or a 3, but no, I know what you're saying.
I would say that I would say my criticism is maybe he lacks a little bit of nastiness defensively in the blue paint areas. I think physically and how fast he is and how big he is, he can make up for certain mistakes that he makes. So overall, maybe I'm being too critical because I'm saying a Stanley Cup team, because if he was on Tampa for those, I would say safe bet is fine. He's a number 3. So overall, the Coyotes have some very valuable assets to get rid of the deadline here. I'm interested to see how they can shed that. But Vejmelka, as you brought up, is, to me, if you're actually looking to tank and get a crazy return for the future, that's a huge chip along with Goss to spare.
Back to the Saturday night tilt in LA. The hockey gods had a nice touch on the game because I guess Kempe had 4 goals. I think the last player to score 4 goals in a game and 3 goals in one period for the LA Kings was Dustin Brown.
No way.
Yeah, so pretty cool that went down on Dustin Brown night. The Penguins had no chance. I guess the game didn't start till like I think the Dustin Brown ceremony was like an hour. It was like they didn't face off till like 11:10 Eastern. You know, the Penguins are used to that, so they got pounded. Just a great effort. And what was crazy was to see Crosby get kicked out, like I talked about. He got cross-checked by was it Anderson?
Mikey Anderson. And then
so Mikey Anderson. And then they're kind of jawing back and forth. And Crosby goes on. They both get 10s. Well, then Crosby ends up skating over and kind of falling around the referee rank, and he booted him. I guess the ref didn't want to be followed around and chirped that, but Crosby, after, he's like, I was dumbfounded that I was getting thrown out of the game. It was 5-0 with 10 minutes to go in the third period. It didn't really matter. But that's kind of bizarre to see, one of the greatest of all times kicked out because, well, first to get the 10 for jawing at a guy and then to actually get the boot because he's yelling at the ref. I was surprised to see that.
Who, you mean Killer Carlson? Crosby this year? Just every time their team needs a little bit of a jolt, he's in there to give it.
Went after even going too the night before in Anaheim.
Who's always the guy to get them going this year? There was a game we had on TNT, same thing against Washington. Pittsburgh really had nothing. Who was the guy to fucking stick his nose in this shit? So he ended up getting cross-checked there, but to go back to the one against Zegras, what? He shot the puck after the whistle?
Yeah, I'd say it was during the whistle, but either or. I mean, he still did it, so I I want to ask you, Biz, is Sid getting frustrated? 2 things in 2 games, or is that just sort of a coincidence that in 2 games he kind of did some uncharacteristic things? He doesn't usually go up challenging guys like that, like he did to Zegras.
I think
he
that
does it more than you'd think, dude.
Okay, all right.
And
really
that's what
does.
I said. So far this year, there's been so many examples of Crosby sticking his nose in there that I just think that maybe this is one thing that he's doing for his team because I feel like they lack. It's embarrassing that we're even talking about this, by the way. But the fact that Crosby most of the year this year has to be the guy to also play that role.
They got
like
no
he's fucking
jam,
Matthew Tkachuk or something. Now that's something that Matthew's expected to bring. But if that's not a wake up to that dressing room in Pittsburgh, fuck, I'll say it. Crosby's trying to do it with his play, I'll say it. If you're a depth guy there, start fucking doing something when your team's not playing good. Like they're overall, they're a little bit lifeless from night to night. And the fact that it's him who's got to do it's embarrassing. So if you're a role guy in that room.
They won the first 2 out of the All-Star break, which was a nice, like, let's go. And then they got pounded in L.A. They have, it's not a must-win game by any point, but, I mean, their schedule gets tough. And they got San Jose Tuesday night. San Jose dusted them in Pittsburgh. So that's actually my bet of the week tonight. You're listening on Tuesday. I'm laying all the chips down on Pittsburgh to get a big win in San Jose. I'm sure they'll be a big favorite, but in regulation, take them 3-way. I think they run away with that game. They have to.
Would be interesting to see them trade for Patrick Kane.
I don't know what the hell Pittsburgh could do. They have like 1 cent less than the cap. Also,
and no prospects, no picks.
Nothing to trade.
Oh, they got picks. They got first round, second round, and third round picks for the next 3 years. They could send out Kasperi. They could send out Kasperi Kapanen. I mean, the Jeff Carter money. They could send out Jason Zucker. They got some money they could send out.
Congrats to Evgeny Malkin. He got his 1,200th point Friday in Anaheim. What an amazing career. It's pretty cool. He got it on a nice assist. And I think he's one of 7 European players to ever reach 1,200 points. So congrats to Gino.
Yep. Currently tied with Dino Ciccarelli for 50th on the all-time points list as well. He's got, 1,033 games played. He's got 1,200 points. Pretty good stuff. But, boys, what do you think? Should we send over to Rasmus Dahlin soon or what? This interview is brought to you by Labatt Blue. There's a little bit of Canadian kindness in every sip of Labatt Blue Light. How did it get in there? They're Canadians. That's how. You can spread the love yourself by sharing a Labatt. When you share a Labatt, you're not just sharing a beer. You're sharing an experience that'll pair with anything from hockey to a hoedown. So next time you're watching hockey with your buds, be sure to share a Labatt because while you might not all root for the same team, you could all enjoy Labatt Blue Light. Guys, the Blue Lights and big deals were flowing all week in Arizona. We had an endless Blue Lights at the Barstool Bar. I noticed a few people even tapped in them during the mini golf. Guys were going wild with the stuff, and we are excited to drink a few Blue Lights at the Stadium Series this weekend. Me personally, I am very excited to do some tailgating at Carter Finley Stadium this weekend to see the Capitals take on the Canes. And there is absolutely nothing like tailgating and drinking some Labatt. Labatt, the pristine Canadian Pilsner. Share a Labatt. So here we go. We're going to roll out Rasmus Dahlin. Enjoy. All right, we're happy to welcome our next guest who was able to join us on short notice. The number 1 overall pick of the 2018 draft, this defenseman was named to the All-Rookie team and was a Calder Trophy finalist. Already in his 5th NHL season, he'll be participating in his 2nd All-Star game this weekend. Thanks so much for joining us on the Spittin Chiclets podcast. Rasmus Dahlin, how you doing, pal? You had to change some late plans or what?
Thank you. Yeah, I got the call yesterday after the game at 12 o'clock in the night. So I'm happy I'm here, though. Good weather. Nice to be in Florida.
What was the trip planned? There was something that you were going to do that you can't do anymore.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Bahamas with the boys.
Oh, no, with the boys. Buddy, when you said that, my heart dropped. With the boys.
If you said with the family, it's like, oh, nice.
Okay,
with the boys, you're like, no, what?
Yeah, no, it's... I'm actually happy that I'm here. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's a good spot to be. Sabres fans are going to go nuts when we drop. We always do a teaser like the day before who the guest is. We had Oposo on. The fans went nuts. Like the Sabres fans seem like they've been like rejuvenated by this team you guys have.
Oh, yeah. We have something really good going on in the city. the fans are incredible right now, and we just got to keep this rolling because I've heard a lot of crazy stuff about the Sabres fans back in the day, so I want to recreate that.
You probably get a sense of it. I see you're part of Bill's Mafia. You probably saw a lot of this winter, even though it didn't end up the best way.
Yeah, that was a tough loss, but it's always the next year, and we have Josh Allen, so the city's happy.
Who on the Buffalo Sabres would be most likely to jump through a table at a Bills tailgate?
I think Alex Tuck is one of those guys that he loves to be at the Bill Stadium and be around all the people, so I would pick him.
He's getting mustard and ketchup too.
Oh, that guy, Ketchup Ron or something. What's his name?
Oh, for sure.
Girls knows him.
Yeah, Dahlin knows him. He's buddies with him.
Does it feel crazy? It's already, like I just said, your 5th season already. I know you started when you were 18, but has it flown by for you as it has for everybody else?
Yeah, it's crazy actually. I think I thought I just started my career, but it's been flying by. But I've learned so many things and gone through a lot. But I'm happy I'm here. It's been a fun ride. So, but it's gone fast.
Talk about what Don Granato's meant to the team. I know a couple of early years, you kind of had a few different coaches. He's kind of really settled the team down. What exactly has he done that kind of instilled confidence in you guys?
Yeah, Don has been the best, to be honest. He came in with this attitude that all the young guys should play fearless and don't be afraid to lose and just go out there and play the game. And you see Tage Thompson, you see Dylan Cousins, you see all these young guys just taking off. It's because of our system. If we're down, it's not like he's coming in and screaming at us. He's telling us to play our game, don't think too much, and compete, and that's what we do, and it seems like it's working right now.
Is it kind of nice as an offensive defenseman to not only get that confidence from your coach, but you guys are basically allowed to freewheel below the goal line, where in the offensive zone it's just this crazy 5-man cycle nonstop.
Yeah. You see Owen Power flying around in the ozone, and the forwards are taking our spots. But yeah, it's part of our game, and we love playing offense. I'm sure it's fun to watch too when we play, and we like playing offense.
We got to go to the beginning. I mean, because you were a kid that was talked about for a long time, even leading up to the draft. So growing up, I mean, we were playing other sports. Were you really good at hockey from the minute you started playing? Like, what was your intro into the game?
I've always find hockey my thing, and I've always been one of the best guys in my teams.
I'm more meant about the beginning, because you're playing for your town, right? I mean, how does it work?
That's what I wanted to ask, because we get this question all the time, like the difference of the Swedish youth hockey system compared to the American system. Like, just go through how the Swedish system. I know how the equipment gets passed down, and you're under that Frölunda
from
flag.
The senior team the whole way.
It's always sent down. And I don't have the experience, but I know everybody in the world wants to hear about it, because you Swedes are developing at a much higher pace with 9 million people in the whole country.
Yeah, I respect that you say that. But it goes down from the 18, we call it, down under 20, under 18, under 16, and then all the way down to whatever.
Like U8, they have.
U8, exactly. But for me, we have the same thing in my hometown, all the way down, but it's not on the highest professional level. It's the system works. You probably can describe it better, but my English is kind of off.
So
right
Frölunda
now,
brought you in when you were young to their team.
Frölunda, I came to Frölunda when I was 15 because they are in the SHL, and their program is better than what I used to.
He had a team I played in last year. They're like the Division 1 probably, right?
Division 3.
Division 2. Yeah, I was in the Division 2 last year.
Yeah, so it's even worse than that.
And that was guys had jobs, right?
Yeah, that was where the guy, he had to leave in the middle of the game to go fix a water main break.
For sure, yeah. So I went to Frölunda to play under 18 when I was 15. But then my career was taken off, and I was playing the A team pretty quick.
Yeah, I watched this guy. I want to say you were 16. You're flying around with a full cage on, and he's dipsy doodling, dangling these 30-year-old men out there. I'm sure they wanted to kill you.
I saw it on TSN on VHS. Like it was filmed on a baked potato.
I felt like the sickest dude of all time when I did that, but looking back, it was stupid. Yeah.
I don't know though. It actually looked pretty sick.
What like veterans? What veterans were on that Frölunda team that maybe like helped you out and like brought you along a little bit?
Henrik Lundqvist's brother, Joel.
He's a legend over
He's
there.
a
right?
legend.
He's a goalie also, isn't he?
No, he's a forward.
I thought he was a goalie.
He was on like the Olympic teams when they had all the NHLers too.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Oh, okay.
I think it was the captain in the World Championship. Yeah, when all the NHLs were there too. But yeah, he's like the heart of Frölunda and heart of Swedish hockey, I would say. So. And we have Roger Rundberg. I don't know how to say his name in English, but he was our coach and he helped me a lot. You know, when I was young, he could have told me to not do stuff, but he just go in there and have fun, which helped me a lot. But I would say Joel Lundqvist was the main guy.
How old were you when the NHL became your goal? Like, all right, this is where I want to be at a certain point.
Ever since I started to figure out hockey is my thing. I wanted to. I mean, it's everyone's dream, and
right.
But some kids do from Europe. Their goal is just to play for like the A team, the senior team. But you were good enough, and you're watching enough NHL highlights. You're like, that's where I want to be.
Yeah, and especially in Frölunda, they push every young guy to not be satisfied to get up in the A team. They want to get us in the NHL. So which that program in Frölunda is one of the best in the world, I would say.
I like asking just quickly, like, about, I feel like Sweden's good in the summer. You're not playing hockey, right? Like growing up, or were you skating the whole time?
Yeah, I was skating the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all these summer schools around the
So it's changed, I guess. I maybe that was before.
Well, and we had a Poso on, and he talked about your work ethic and how you're always constantly trying to develop your game. So it seemed like from an early age, you were just hyper focused. Like, were you like, I want to be first overall, I want to be the best? Like, is that your personality where you're just constantly clawing at it?
Not really. I just love hockey. I just love being at the rink with the guys, and I love competing. I think that's the main thing. Whatever it is, golf or something, I just want to have fun and compete. I think that comes a long way.
Did you model your game after any particular Swedish defenseman, or just kind of create your own path?
Yeah, a lot of them, I would say. Lidström, Hedman, Erik Karlsson. We have a ton of great Swedish defensemen, but it feels like Sweden are developing very good defensemen, and it's like they're pushing all the defensemen to be offense and play like Erik Karlsson and all those guys. But yeah, I think Lidström started everything back in Sweden.
Are there any defensemen around the league you like to watch play as much as you can?
Yeah, I love watching games. Right now, it's Erik Karlsson. It's amazing to see what he's doing right now. I'm trying to catch up to him, but it's
you're doing your best. But
yeah, I'm doing my best, but it's too hard.
I know, he's back.
Do you guys have like a side bet going on like a group chat or something?
No, I'm not doing that because he will beat me.
and he'll want the action to be big too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is he somebody that you talk to regularly, where you like bounce stuff off of him and kind of a mentor role?
Yeah, I mean, we talk sometimes, and this summer I went over to his house and we had a good talk and just chatting a little bit. But it's not like I call him every night and ask for tips and tricks. But he's a great guy, and he's a role model for sure.
In the current NHL, it's like, it's changed a bit where it seems like there are a lot of family guys, but you guys have so many young dudes. I mean, it must be on the road, 10, 11 guys going to dinner and stuff.
Oh, it's like, the best.
It's unreal how many guys under 25 are playing big roles.
Yeah, going on the road is the best thing ever. We have, it seriously, it is. But we have 15 guy dinners. Really? Like, we're having so much fun.
You guys doing the credit card game?
Oh, it sucks when we're that many guys.
You lost a big one recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. No, yeah.
There was a team recently that got busted where they would play the fake credit card game where they would actually still divvy it up. You guys don't do that, do you?
Oh, what?
I know. Seattle last year, they wouldn't play the credit card game. Guys
they did a mock draft.
Like, we'll play pretend, like see who would have lost. I don't know if they did that. I know that they wouldn't play. Eberle was telling me. So they're probably doing it this year, and that's why they're winning.
It's always the rookies on the rookie deal that wants to play it and
loses.
It's always the one that wants to play that
brings
loses.
Up the game loses
it's crazy how it works, right?
Yep.
So yeah, some of the older guys have been stepping in sometimes, but no, it's I love being on the road.
So the offense is like, it's always been there for you. This year, it's just kind of exploding. But also defensively, like you're playing better this year. Was that something where you're focused on? All right, well, I know I can produce points. Let me be a true number one and be playing against the top lines also.
Yeah, that's always what I've wanted to be like. And last year when Donnie came in, he played me against the other team's top players, and I've kind of learned throughout times how to manage minutes and how to play against the most skilled guys, and you get so much confidence from just playing against them and understanding you can win the battles and stuff like that. So I think it just takes time, and big thanks to Marty and Donnie, my coaches.
Well, I mean, there's a couple times like you got a chippiness to your game maybe that you didn't have earlier on, where you're throwing some fucking big hits. I remember last year was it the game in Hamilton where you and Matthews were going at it?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
You got him sussied.
No, I like.
Oh, am I digging too deep?
No, you're no, you're not. I like having fun.
PR
on the ice.
person's like, no.
Yeah.
No, I like having fun, and shit happens on the ice. I'm all good with that cross check because that could have been me doing that to someone else. So it's a part of the game, and I don't care. Yeah.
Okay.
A guy like you that's playing this many minutes, are you guys looking at when the TV timeouts are and stuff and using those to your advantage and going right back out?
No, I hate TV timeouts, to be honest.
Fucking A,
Biz wants to get rid of commercials.
I've been harping about them. It's
It should be a good business plan.
It's a joke. We got to talk to Gary, what is it? Kim Jong Bettman? You know who that is?
No.
Happy 30 years, Gary.
No, it kills momentum sometimes, and you're in this goal, and it's like it feels like every minute it's coming. But some games I like it, some games I hate it.
And then they got to put the fourth liners out there.
The business.
Those guys stink.
Not anymore. Now fourth liners are nasty.
Kidding. Yeah, that was more of a dig at me.
So you said you love the game and stuff, and it must have been hard for you, right? Because there's a couple tough years where you guys were losing a lot. Were you taking that home, or were you staying positive, working on your own game, or was it just kind of a battle to get through the past couple years?
Both. I mean,
it just gets old losing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It sucks losing, but we always knew that better times were coming. You see Tage, you see all the young guys. We went through it together. And we were like, yeah, eventually we will be the top guys, and we will be the leaders on the team, and things will change. So we always had this motivation, and we've been working very hard, and better times ahead.
Biz mentioned we got to interview Poso, and pretty emotional interview, what he's been through in his career. I could tell right away he's probably a guy that everyone leans on. For a young team, that's a veteran who treats everyone the right way, right?
Yeah, he's the best. He's, he is the best we can have because
he's a team guy.
Oh, for sure. He's the best. Whenever he has to say something, he says something. Otherwise, he just keeps it loose. And yeah, he's chirps everyone as much as all the young guys are doing. So, he's a great captain.
Who's the clown on the team? I guess Tuck, if he's going through the tables at Bills Mafia.
No, Tage is a clown. He never shuts up. I would say Dylan Cousins have recently turned out to a idiot.
He's getting comfy now.
Yeah, exactly. No, he is hilarious. And Peyton Krebs.
It's usually like a night out where the boys get completely annihilated, where all of a sudden the young guy who might not have had the confidence to truly open up finally then opens up. Was that the case?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it was like that.
It's like one thing happened. It's just like, okay, he's got the new nickname on the team and everything.
For sure. And Matthias Samuelsson, that guy is out to lunch sometimes, but he is hilarious too.
Pasha, one of our video guys, was saying that Sam Reinhart texted over a story about you your first year spending like $20,000 one time on suits, and you were still concerned.
That was Ike's fault.
Okay,
that was Eichel's fault.
Right away, you're blaming someone else.
No, seriously, I asked Eichel. I didn't have any suits, and I was like, "Where can I get some suits?" And he's like, "Oh, I hook you up with this guy." And he hooks me up with this guy. This guy comes home to me and shows me all these things, and I was like, take that one, and then it turns out it's 20 grand for 3 suits.
You're like, you could have told me.
Suits?
3 suits.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you
That's-
got.
Buffalo
Hey,
too?
was this the Montreal guy that came down, Biz?
Better have came with a tug.
No, it's 3 suits. So like, I don't make that much money, Ike. You can give me someone else.
Yeah, these days with where Gary's got it going, that's your whole signing bonus for a first overall pick.
Well,
Next thing you know, it's going to be a loan from the team.
you mentioned Thompson. I don't know if you saw the clip that like went viral. It's like basically 4 minutes of him completely dominating. Like, it's just crazy to see what he's done. I mean, last year was the beginning, and now he's a legit superstar.
Yeah, I've
He's
always
embarrassing people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Goalies especially, but I've always seen that he's always been super skilled, and his shots has always been crazy. But I think him getting the opportunity from Donnie and getting this confidence, I think it's more of a mental click for him, because he's always been like, he like practices, he's doing stupid stuff, and every time we're playing, scrimmage or 3-on-3, he's like lighting it up like he's doing right now. So I think it was more of a mental click for him.
It's just how most excited the Sabres fans have been since you've been there, given that you guys, pretty much control your own destiny right now as far as the playoffs.
Yeah, it's amazing how it is in Buffalo right now. You see, like, we had this Miller night, we had the RJ night last year, and when our rink is packed, it's nuts. It's nuts.
They're
and
maniacs.
I saw you guys went to this whatever street hockey tournament.
They're crazy.
Yeah, right. I wish I was there.
It's a sports town.
Who did? What game was it when you scored the tying goal? I think it was a 6-5 overtime win you guys had. I was watching the game, and the fans were. It's crazy how engaged they are into the game.
For sure.
I would say when it's packed building and it's a great game like that, like the craziest atmosphere in sports.
Yeah, it's like 50 laps of the wave or whatever you call it, and it's so much fun playing in front of them.
That's awesome.
They're all boozing on the
they're all
light,
they're all
big deal brew.
They're all gooned up. Liquid Dueno. Did you feel like more of a team buy-in when Tuck came, because he's kind of from the area where
wanted to be there?
You have to want to be in Buffalo. It's some place like people don't want to play, and it's hard to attract free agents, but like it's got this charm about it, and I feel like that may be elevated when Tuck got there.
For sure. He came in with such a fresh air. You're always a little, you wanted to get to know this guy, but he was like coming in with his positive attitude. Let's go. I love Buffalo. And I grew up here, and and like the type of player he fits so good. Like, everyone talks about Tage, which everyone should, but Tuck is doing a lot of work too.
He's setting them up a lot.
Oh, it's amazing to watch, and he's been unreal for us, and
We had him on, and he was talking about his skill coach and how he like reworked his stride to where he could. So he's constantly working on his game too, which I'm sure pushes you guys in that direction practice wise.
Yeah. I mean, everyone, young guys, and I think our culture too is like. It feels like the half of the team is on 20 minutes early, and I guess it's because we're young guys, but it's like this work ethic culture we have, and I think it's a really good thing going on in Buffalo, and you see Tuck as a leader doing all this stuff, and he's amazing.
That's the thing about the young team, is that when guys have nowhere to go, then you're on the ice after, you're playing rebound, juice boy. It's like, nobody ever wants to leave the rink.
Yeah, they're telling you, hey, boy,
a little bit.
It's almost like they're cutting you off. They're saying, boys,
you got to get off the ice, boys.
Trainers got families, boys.
That's pretty much what they're doing. And we have, I got to give credit to Eric Comrie too, because goal is usually, they're out right away, but he's the one that wants to be on the ice for the longest.
Word goes around that you got the goalie that'll stay out there for 3 hours. He'll have a contract making league minimum for life.
Yeah.
He'll play for 16 different teams, like,
unless it's LT.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you a little nugget on Alex Tuck. He grew up 2 houses down from legendary Sabre Tim Connolly.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, 2 houses down. That's why he grew up a Sabres fan, and why he has the heart for the Sabres. But I want to bring that all up because Tim Connolly played in those goat head jersey times. And now when you guys play with those, I don't know what your record is. It's something. I'm the gambler.
When I brought it up, they then lost.
Yeah,
like
they only
5-0.
you're like 6-1 in these jerseys. Are you guys feeling it when you walk in the room and see them? Anything special going on when you see them?
Yeah, and it feels like the crowd is getting into it more when you have those jerseys.
They should be the jerseys, I think.
Yeah,
You guys talked about that? Just wear them every game until you lose
that's what I
again.
tell our trainers
Make
all
a
the time.
50-cent beer night and watch the wave.
No, the building would explode.
It's no, seriously.
cracked down.
I've said that for years. If the Bills or Sabres ever win a championship, the city's going to burn down. Like, that place is done.
The Chippewa Street will.
Tell you what you're going to be doing for extracurricular activities this week. Are you like how to shot? No, like what are the?
Oh, you mean the skills
He's
comp?
like, what do you want to do tonight, bud? What do you want to do tonight, bud? I got to hook
Not
up.
those guys.
Yeah, for some reason it put me in the hardest shot category.
That's the best one.
Yeah, but if you
You
have
got
a
95 in
muffin-
you. If you, as long as you're over 90, you're good.
No, but then
Yeah, right.
Oh, if you hit 87, you're in one.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
but then
leaving
you'll be the guy
arena.
being like, "No, I didn't want to be a hardo. I was just taking it easy." And you don't have to do the lap. You don't have to stick handle the puck.
Yeah, it could be worse. Yeah, I agree. But I just don't want to embarrass myself. But it's all right.
Okay.
Well, man,
I
congratulations.
got one more. I got one
keep her
more.
going,
You know,
keep her
as a
going.
Swedish guy here, I want one thing you miss from Sweden while you're here, and then one thing you miss from the U.S. or Buffalo while you're back home in Sweden in the summer.
The kebab,
Yes.
it's so good, man.
Kebab, Swedish
What's the
kebab.
kebab?
Swedish
you
kebab.
take yours a roll or on the fries of the plate?
Both.
Both, yeah.
Is this late night drinking
This is
food?
late night drinking
Oh,
food
late
and
night
like the
drinking
next
food.
morning food. When I'm out, I get one roll and I get one plate because I want them both.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why don't they have that at IKEA?
Those are the meatballs.
Yeah, they got the meatballs there.
I know, but-
I don't know why they don't have kebab there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Will you
Yeah.
protest
What about-
that
so
with me
you-
to get the
Yeah,
kebab
I'll
instead
do
of the
it.
meatballs for
Yeah, I'll do
IKEA?
it.
That would make national news. Imagine you striking
That'd be
against
hilarious.
IKEA
Yeah.
with the picket sign out front.
His agent's about to get a deal done with IKEA. You're going to ruin the whole thing.
You and Hank, for sure, they'd have kebab in there. You
Oh,
guys
yeah.
combine?
Yeah, he probably loves kebab too. I just miss Gothenburg when I'm over there because that's one of the best cities in the world. But going back, I miss
The Bills.
The wing. I was trying to line you up for the wings, the Buffalo wings.
yeah.
Are they
And that was
overrated?
gonna be my next
Hey,
question.
are they overrated?
No, they're the best.
What's the best spot in
Because
Buffalo?
he knows
for
not
wings?
to fuck with that
The
crowd.
whole fan base
What's the best
turns
spot in
on.
Buffalo for wings? I got to put you on the hot
Hey,
seat.
hey, blink twice if you're being held
I'm
hostage
not
by the
doing
fan
it.
base. No, I'm serious.
The best spot you said. Yeah, it's Barbell.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I want to hook up a lie detector about to ask about the wings.
He's like,
Grinelli,
"Don't do
bring
it."
out the lie detector, please.
This is when she comes in. She's like, this interview's over.
Creative.
Well, man, congrats. I mean, this has been an awesome run. Or at least I have kind of hopped on that Sabres bandwagon, hoping you guys get in. So it's nice to have meaningful games, and congrats on being an all-star.
Thank you very much, guys.
Congrats.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
You're the man, buddy.
Before we go any further, here's a word from our friends at the Barstool Sportsbook. What's going on, gang? I'm not sure if you checked out the Barstool Sportsbook yet, but you ought to if it's in your area. There are tons of great ways to play, including our Barstool exclusives, their picks and parlays from Big Cat, El Prez, and other personalities to follow or fade. We have tons of ways to bet. You get your daily odds boost, you get your live in-game bets, same-game parlays, move the line, teases, all that fancy stuff. And again, a parlay bet within the same game or cross sports. Not everybody does it, but we do here at the Barstool Sportsbook. It's also very easy to navigate and use data and content to keep you informed. It's easy and secure registration, and there are more ways to deposit and withdraw. Download it today and use the code BIZNASTY to create an account. It's a $1,000 new player bonus. If your first bet loses, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. You must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Big thanks to Rasmus for jumping on us while we were down in Fort Lauderdale last week. Very enjoyable chat for us. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. His Sabres are currently 11th place in the East, but very much alive, I'd say. They got 56 points. They're 5 back of the Pens, 6 back of the Caps with a game in hand on Pittsburgh and 4 games in hand on Washington. So they do still control their own fate. 17 of their 31 remaining games are versus current playoff teams. So I don't know, a bona fide number one goalie would be huge for this squad. We'll see what happens, but they did lock up a huge piece of their core. They extended Dylan Cousins to a 7-year, $49.7 million deal. Comes out to 7.1 average annual value. He's got a modified no trade clause for the last 3 years. Whit,
Love it. Love it. I love what Kevin Adams has done. Now, quickly, I got to dog him a little bit in terms of you mentioned that they don't have that number one goalie, the one thing they're really missing. They had Ullmark. I don't know if he just didn't want to be there, but they decided to let him go, and you've seen what he's done with the Bruins. Yes, a much better team, but that guy's a hell of a goalie. But back to Cousins and what they've done. They did it with Samuelsson, and they're totally willing to trust their own minds, their scouting staff's minds, and what they figure the player will turn into and pay them early. We've seen the discussion when Jack Hughes got his money in Jersey, and we've wondered at how it's kind of going to work out. And there will for sure be players who get signed to these big tickets in looking at basically their potential and what they could be, and they maybe won't turn out. Dylan Cousins is not going to be one of them. And I think you're going to be laughing in 5 years when he's making $7 million. That's a young stud. He's already proved that he can produce at this level. He plays with an edge. It's a guy that if you're a fan of the Sabres, you're like, yes, we locked him up at a reasonable number. Right now it looks like a lot. In the end, it won't be. So I really think that this is the future in terms of the game and how you're going to be able to stay under the cap wherever it ends up and give yourself room to make trades and make things happen by getting guys signed to long-term deals. And the best part about it is it really is a win-win, where a guy like Dylan Cousins says, I just locked up $50 million. I set myself up for life. I'm going to be able to sign another monster deal at the end of this thing. And the team looks at it like, all right, we don't have to worry. It's another piece of the puzzle that's locked up that we don't have to see pop off in his third year in the league, only to then maybe have to pay him $9 million AAV. So it's a wonderful deal for a player who I think is going to be around the league for a long time.
$50 million in Buffalo, you're a billionaire.
Yeah. Multi-billion.
Multi. You're like fucking Mr. Burns at the top of your castle. Just except it's in Cheektowaga. Awesome signing. They got their 1-2 punch at center ice too, and they can both produce. And so it's like fuck. We could double wrist Adams till we're blue in the face here. The thing is though, it sucks because I truly believe it's the right move. They're not going to make a move. Nothing's going to happen. They're going to stick with the same goaltending. They're going to fizzle out. They're kind of on a slide again. It's just these ups and it's a fucking roller coaster ride.
Though, Biz.
And listen, I love the Sabres. I love what they're doing, but I would be ready right now to read their obituary. I think that they're not making playoffs. I'm not being negative. I just don't think that they're going to make a move. And as a result, the East is just a fucking juggernaut. So doesn't matter.
Isn't that all the reason to not make the move though, Biz? If the East is such a juggernaut, it's like they're not going to win the cup. So it's like they shouldn't mortgage the future and make. But
you don't. I'm like most Sabres fans right now. I've been hibernating for playoffs. Long. I'm carrying around the biggest fucking sack in the league in a wheelbarrow where I haven't busted my nut. I need to bust my playoff nut, right?
Exactly.
It's like you're a fireman and you get sent off in like the wooded areas in BC in the summer to fight these fires. There's no girls around. You're just with the boys fighting fires. And then you get back and you hit up Duke Saloon in Victoria, BC. Like you have a raging hard on. You just want to stick it in something, you know? Duke Saloon. I don't know why I went and used that analogy, but I think that most people from Buffalo will understand exactly what I'm saying. We need some fucking playoff boners. All right.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think one question we've been hearing a lot, not necessarily this year, but the last few years, when will guys stop going after opponents who bury their teammate with hard legal hits? And we're going to go back to the Calgary Rangers game last week.
When people stop complaining about the guys who go after guys for making clean hits.
Well, maybe after that game, they'll realize it hurts your team because the Rangers got a power play. They scored on a power play, ended up winning it in overtime. Let's dial it back a little. Jacob Trouba, first period, absolutely buries Dylan Dubé with clean hit. He's immediately approached by Chris Tanev. Ball's on Tanev, but gets the fight. He got an extra penalty as well. Then late in the second, Trouba nails Nazem Kadri, which catches the attention of Dubé, who he already hit. Then he fights him. He gets the extra penalty. I love what Kadri had to say. He had no issue with the hit. He said, good hit. I took it like a man, got right back up, dusted myself off, and away you go. And he actually hit his bare head on the ice, too, if you watch that replay. So like I said, Tanev got the extra 2 for roughing. Dubé got the extra 2 for instigator, as well as the 10-minute misconduct. But I feel like, Biz, maybe this team's going to learn a lesson soon. Just stop doing it. The guy got hit. He's a big boy. It's the NHL.
So first of all, the fact that we didn't mention this when talking about bolstering up that D-core with picking up Mikkola as the 5'6", the physicality from the back end, which is being much provided this season by Trouba. Some of these fucking hits he's been throwing, it's like Scott Stevens of the past.
And they're clean. I mean, people say not all of them are clean. Those two were perfect.
Well, because they put them in slow motion and they watch them over and over and over. No, real time. And then you also, much like in the Super Bowl, you have the guy on the receiving end of it say, clean hit. Now, RA, in real time and in this game, yes, it cost the Calgary Flames. They ended up going on the man disadvantage. They get scored on. But I think overall picture, you need your team galvanizing in situations like this to tell me if the guys in the locker room truly do care about each other. I would have way more of a problem as a head coach if that would happen to one of my star players and there was no response. And the fact that these guys didn't think twice about it both times makes me partly regret hopping off the Calgary Flames bandwagon. Now, is there still time to hop back on? Yes, there's still time to hop back on, but I have to make ultimately a bigger decision. But going back to this game, this was a throwback style game. I think that hockey would thrive if there was more of this type of game from night to night. You need the violence. You need guys like Trouba throwing these monster hits. They create chaos, and it ensues every time the way that most teams care about each other in the locker room. Now, would you agree with me, Whit? Because oftentimes now you see the fan go, why does he have to answer the bell if it was a clean hit? It has nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do. It's seeing your brother, it's seeing your teammate get run over, and it's you just showing that we're not going to stand for it. And a lot of times there's many coaches who say if you take a penalty, you take a penalty. That's sticking up for a teammate. Maybe a horrible analogy. It's like your buddy's in a bar fight. Like, you can not hop in because of the chance you get arrested. It's just like, this is your friend. This is the guy that you spend more time with than your family, and he got run over. Yes, clean, but it's not going to go down the way you thought it was going to go down. And that's how guys look at it. Like, it's just forever a thing to back up your teammate. Now, in the playoffs, it's a totally different story.
Yes.
Right? Third period, tie game, you can't do anything. But in the regular season, it's just a different ball game. And maybe something that, like, people who never played the game, I hate being the guy, you never played the game, you don't get it. But maybe you just don't really understand what it's like to see a teammate get run over. And for anyone wondering, as a player, when you see something like that happen and you see nobody from the team go over and do anything, that is a way bigger indictment on the group that you have, as opposed to a guy who goes over and takes a penalty, end up giving up a shorthanded goal. It's one of those things, like, you come in the room, hey, it's all right, bud, we'll kill that penalty for you. We're always going to take care of you. You're sticking up for one of our guys. We'll kill that one for you. This time they didn't. They ended up losing an OT in what was definitely the game of the year in the NHL. Unbelievable action, unbelievable physicality, like Biz said. But I know people don't understand it because it's a clean hit. Why are you doing anything? Well, I just saw my buddy get run over and hit his head on the ice. I don't really care if it was a clean hit or not. And I'm going to try to remind the team we're playing against that we're one unit and that we're always going to stick together and stick up for one another. It is definitely one of those things where it's confusing to people who maybe never played or who completely disagree with what I'm saying. But somebody who's kind of been through it, I think I had 5 NHL fights and all of them were based on a guy who got hit. Some of them clean, most of them clean. You know, you just go in there and you're like, that's my guy. And so it is an awkward thing because for
I like
fans
your analogy.
to understand it, it's hard to kind of describe what I'm saying.
I like the bar fight analogy, but like in the same breath, if you have a teammate who is constantly skating around the ice with his head down, and in one season, he just so happens to get rocked 8 times, maybe on the 8th time, it's like, hey, bring out the shovels. Get this guy out of here. I'm done getting my nose broken for him. Just keep your fucking head up here. Just like the buddy at the bar who's just yapping, starting shit, wanting to get in scraps every night. So
that
at a
fucking
certain
Trouba
point,
helmet throw though against Chicago a few months ago. Talk about an absolute turnaround, right? And I could sound stupid in saying that changed their season. Well, sometimes things like that do. And when your captain and your leader flips out and says, wake the fuck up, and then your team does over the course of the next 35 games, there's something to be said for that. That guy's playing some hockey.
The human torpedo.
Guys, that was awesome insight, for real. That was good shit, man. I'm sure the people will appreciate hearing a take from a guy who fought for a living and a guy who didn't fight for a living.
You ever been in a bar fight, RA?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't probably one of the principals. Yeah, Sully's across the street. Me and my boys had a scrap with a few yups fucking 20-something years ago.
How'd you do?
I don't know what they were thinking. They were outnumbered. They were outnumbered. 2 guys. They started trouble like locals, which is just a bad move in a fucking neighborhood like this. And we never started trouble there. There were 5 of us, 2 of them. I threw like 1 punch. I didn't need to like give them the Jimmy Conway stomp like in Goodfellas. We all got outside covered in blood. None of us were bleeding. A few of us got barred from the bar. But I threw like 1 shot. No,
he's like, I ended up smoking I think it was meth with him. It was good. They were good shits.
Nah, it's one I won't touch for Christ's sake. Let's see. John Tortorella allegedly sent a letter to season ticket holders last week. It was like a progress report from a teacher at school. I thought it looked like.
Dear fans, I'm writing you from my underground lair where I'm beating off with clips of guys dumping pucks in and starting scrums in front of the net. I want to apologize from the deepest sympathies of my heart about the performance that these losers that I'm coaching have put on the ice. The only thing slapping lipstick on a pig this season is our goaltender Carter Hart, or as R.A. would like to call him, Carter Hat. I just want you to let you know that after getting kicked in the face by another horse on my ranch, that I've come up with such wisdom to write this letter to you to apologize. And I'm done now.
I love the line, now I'm not going to lie to you, and I want to be clear about this. We're not there yet. You think? I'm not going to lie to you guys. My dog's getting smarter, but he still has been eating his own shit. Just a reminder, the Philly
I tell
fans.
you what, he can sit, but does he have some shitty breath?
At the bottom, it says this email was not sent on an Apple iPad.
Yeah.
You think that was Torts' idea?
No.
Do you think he wrote it?
I think he wrote it in an old feathered pen,
Dipping
his
it,
quill.
whipping it in the ink?
into the company's ink.
I mean, he obviously signed off on it, and I guess it's a nice thing to do at the end of the day. Just say, hey, I'm seeing some progress here, although people might not think so. But yeah, for Torts, he's the last guy I would expect to have his name on a letter like that. I don't know. I guess fans appreciate it.
You remember
he made Hazy write it.
Hazy used that AI app to write it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You keep laughing. That's what's fucking taking over the world. We're done. We are done. I'm going to be living on in a little tin, a little bunker in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Fucking chat.
You and Timmy Thomas
bullshit.
eating Spam for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Safer than you motherfuckers.
On the ice wasn't the only place that violence happened last week. This particular Dallas fan showed off his mullet for the cameras on TV, looking pretty good. The Minnesota Dallas game. Then a little bit later, boom, he's got some skirmish with a guy way bigger than him. Had the lower ground. He dropped the N-bomb. I don't know if the guy he was yelling at would Creed or whatever he was. The guy hit him fucking flush in the face. I don't know if he packed everything in. So that kid took a punch. I will say he got up. Then the guy just held him down, calling him little boy. How did his night take a 180?
The guy's girl came in the mix.
Yeah. Right or
Mullet
die, baby.
Boy's girlfriend came throwing hammers. Seeing your teammate get hit. What are we saying? Seeing your lover get hit. Mullet Boy looked like he's been taking punches since he came out of the womb, though. Let's be honest. I mean, he looked so dumb. His face was just like a dumb face.
He looked like he worked in Heisenberg's RV. No?
No,
he looks like he's been cooking meth.
Jesse Pinkman's assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking one of Badger's boys.
But that's why you always want the higher ground.
Now, I'm still shocked at the amount of fights that happen in fans. Like, I don't understand how people can just go to sporting events and act the way that they
and spend
act.
the money to go there, and then get the boot for fighting.
So I will say, I tried watching the video over and over. The sound is a little bit muffled. People did say that he dropped the N-bomb, and that's why the guy suckered him. Was that the case? Did you hear it in the video? 100% confirmed, G. He said it.
100% confirmed. It was just he was running his mouth saying a bunch of shit. It was clearly a drunk kid who was just going at this older guy with that dad strength. And that just goes back to you never fuck with these older guys because they still have dad strength. You know what I mean? You're like, this guy might be out of shape. He might be 55 years old, but that guy's seen some fucking shit in his day. You know what I mean?
Oh, and the fact that you say not only that, but when you say that, man, sometimes when you say it in public, like you're not just dealing with the guy that you were getting in the argument with now. You're going to start seeing some punches come from places that you didn't expect. It's just like when sometimes you see these idiots online when like a girl smacks them, they just like clock them back in public. And then next thing you know, it's a 12-on-1 gong show like RA doing at the bar across the street from them, curb stomping people.
Yeah, many moons ago.
It was amazing that the kid got on TNT or wherever the broadcast showed.
That was at the beginning
pregame.
of the game walking in. Let's just remind people. Yeah, not good.
One other note here. You guys mentioned Phoenix Copley earlier from the Kings. They just signed him to a 1-year extension worth, $825 a year. I don't know. It feels like almost like a thank you note. The guys kind of bounced around the minors for a bit. Busy. Kind of. I guess they kept them afloat during this little last little stretch here. So pretty nice for him.
I think it's a perfect mental relief where it's like, hey man, going into next season, you're taken care of. Let's just worry about bringing this one home. Love the move by Rob Blake. And the fact that in the first part of the podcast, I didn't give him a double wrister. What he's done over the past few years in order to rejuvenate this team and figure out what to do at the end of Kopitar and Doughty's tenors or how careers with the LA Kings. Because they're far into the back nine here, right? I don't know how many years these guys have left, but to rejuvenate these team with some young legs and then continue to find these diamonds in the rough, double cranker. Put the mascara on, man. We're going fucking Deep Space Nine right now.
I want to know what's in your fucking closet, man. Let's see. Frank Saravalli reported that former Boston Mayor Marty Walsh will be formally installed as the next executive director of the NHLPA. The 55-year-old Dorchester native was presented by the NHLPA's search committee as the top choice during a recent e-board meeting. He's going to make $3 million for the gig. He'll be allowed to live in Boston. He won't have to move to Toronto, where the headquarters is located. But one quote jumped out at me, like from Frank's article. It said that players were Walsh will attempt to cajole interest in a union membership that has been mostly apathetic during Fair's time. Like when you guys played, did you think the union was apathetic? I know it wasn't under Fair, but like is the union? I don't know. What do you think he means by that? I guess apathetic.
I was under Fair for a little bit. I'll say that, and it's kind of natural when you come into the NHL. It's like the last thing on your mind, right? You're a young kid. You're playing in the NHL. It's your dream come true. All this stuff taken care of for you. You don't really care, and I shouldn't speak for everyone, but most guys they don't even know what's going on, and then you realize as you get older, and unfortunately you realize when you retire how much it actually matters, that the leadership community and group of the NHLPA matters so much in terms of where this league goes, not only day to day, but year to year, and for the future of all the guys and all the guys who will play after you and all the guys who've already been before you. So it's one of those things, it's like, what is it? RA Youth's wasted on the young, where you don't even understand or really care to understand what's going on because it doesn't affect you in your mind. But as you become older, you realize how much it does. Now, in terms of Marty Walsh, it's like, I hate politicians. They're such scumbags, empty suits that talk out of both sides of their mouth. I don't know Marty Walsh, but if you're going to tell a guy that can get out of Washington making $250,000 a year that he can make $3 million to move home and then be involved in a players association where he's definitely a hockey fan, I've heard that's a dream gig. Now, it's very weird to me, though, that they ended up deciding a guy without a law degree. I'm going to guess that's the first guy that's ever done this that doesn't have a law degree. I don't know. Now, what we'll say is he's had a long-standing run of dealing with unions, right? All right, yes. Was that kind of his thing in Boston?
Yeah. Unions were his thing before being mayor and after. And you're right, he's the first guy to not have a legal background in this job.
So they got to hope that when this CBA ends in 2026, this is the guy who's able to kind of figure out and help the players union. You know, I would say is their number one goal is getting the cap to be able to be adjusted a little bit in terms of not having to be flat. I don't really know right now.
Yeah, it's such a long discussion, and I'm glad we're having it. We might end up going another 10, 15 minutes on this topic because it branches out into so much. It's like from a fan standpoint who's listening, they might be like, well, like, what aren't the players getting that they need? And like, is $11 million, $12 million a year for Nathan McKinnon not enough? And I guess comparatively to other sports and where they think that the players are being held back financially is in some of the writing of the CBA, right? You can only make up to I believe it's 20% of your team's salary cap. While the salary cap is a hard cap because it was sold on a bill of goods that they wanted to make the league competitive, which I believe that it has.
Yep.
But in a lot of ways, though, it also has taken away from a lot of the headline action as you're seeing in basketball. Like Kevin Durant got traded the other day because the team was able to make it possible because they have a soft cap situation. So for all these franchises where their values continue to grow and grow and grow, and all of a sudden you're dangling these little carrots where these players are able to get bumped up like, $1 million per year for a guy like McDavid over the span of a 5-year period, where like that 20% would be a certain number. And fans would be like, well, I root for the team, not the player. And I'm like, I don't know. Did Mark Messier and Mike Richter or Brian Leach bring you those memories as a Ranger fan? Or did fucking the Dolan family? They're creating the players are creating these amazing moments for these organizations that are valued at billions of dollars. So what I think, and what the approach from the players, and especially the ones who are going to be the ones to be compensated the most, the McDavids, the Matthews, the guys who care also about making that much money. I would say that based on the deal that Marner and Matthews took, they care about getting what they think that they're worth, right? Is that a fair statement? So it's evident that, in my opinion, these guys would want a soft cap to where all of a sudden, come trade deadline, they're not really stuck in these situations they don't want to be. But I also think that there's things that the players can give back in order to maybe get what they want. Like 8 years, I think that's too long. I would be okay with a maximum length of a 6-year contract where you could do a 5 with going to sign as a free agent. And then that number can obviously grow because it's a soft cap situation where that team if the New York Rangers also wanted to add Patrick Kane right now, they could go do it. And it wouldn't.
And then pay what you're over the tax. It's like luxury tax. And then that can go to the rest of the owners.
Go to the bottom feeders. Nobody's forcing you to spend it. If you're saying that they're forcing you to spend it in order to compete, it's like, you want to boo-hoo from me? You're worth fucking $3 billion, you fucking donkeys. What are you talking about? If you're the Rangers, right? Or if you're the Detroit Red Wings, it doesn't matter. Like, look at the franchise values. I'm not, and once again, if it ain't your window to go spend over what the cap is, don't do it. So I think it's hindering a lot of like big deal movement, which grabs headlines.
Mid-season
I think
movement.
It prevents the star players from being compensated for what they're worth. And I think that the other thing is the escrow. A couple of the people tried to explain to me how it actually works and what it actually means. I think that it should be ridden of, and it shouldn't exist, and get rid of the fucking word, if I'm being real honest, because it just makes things more complicated where the players have to give back if certain numbers aren't met. It's like, no, you worry about the logistic and because half these people own the companies where the booze is being sold in the rink, and in Toronto, they're forcing you to buy concert tickets and other sporting events tickets if you want to buy the Leafs ticket. So there's other ways that these organizations are clawing back and making their money. So do I think that the players are starving by any means? No. But I think at this point, with the last 3 lockouts and how they've gone and how much have been clawed back from the players, I think it's time for a win for the players. And talk about revenue from the best versus best possibility. And when do those players start getting a say in what's happening with that?
Well, that's
like, why is it Bettman and the owners deciding that? It should be all those collective star players getting together and saying, we're standing together and we're going to say, and they can also speak on the mic, not just all stand behind the guy. If you're the one fucking wanting to get paid, like if I'm Austin Matthews, I'm fucking saying, yeah, give me the fucking mic. I just fucking tucked 60-something goals in Toronto in the biggest market. Hop on my back and they're fucking making billions. Yeah, soft cap. Let's go here.
That's kind of what I meant to say in terms of like retiring and realizing how much the PA means to these guys and not necessarily understanding until you're older and done playing. It's like they need to be on the same page so much, especially going into a labor decision in 2026 in terms of like, even though the younger guys don't really want to be involved and they got better things to do with their time and their mind and they got more money they can ever spend, it's like you got to be more invested into what's going to happen within this league and within this Players Association, because it's only going to benefit the guys that are currently playing and the guys after you. So it's like so many people don't really want to go to the meetings and they don't ever want to be involved in being a player rep and all these things. And it's like the more guys you can get that do care and do want to be involved in that stuff, the more success the players are going to have in negotiations, because it's a united front. Now, in terms of Marty Walsh, there's been some rumblings in terms of when he was running for mayor in Boston all those years, Jeremy Jacobs donated to him while he's the owner of the Bruins. So it's like, and then John Henry donated to him, and he's now the owner of the Penguins. Now, he did mention it was inevitable in terms of running for being mayor of the city of Boston that you're going to end up kind of doing business with guys like that. So I guess I could understand that. But more than anything, I just hope that the players are all united on this, because it's something where you think it doesn't matter and you think you're all set, and then all of a sudden you're older and you're like, God damn it, I would have done things a little differently. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. That lockout year, I went to some meetings in New York City. We all went just so we could rip it up in New York City for 3 nights. Like, everyone's sitting there hungover at the meeting as Donald Fair and other people are trying to explain. And then you see the guys around the league. I know Ron Hainsey's really involved. He always has been, a real smart guy. It's like, oh my God, now I know why those guys were so intently listening and so interested in what was going on, because they weren't being loser drunks like me and the rest of the fellas that were just looking to rip it up.
I was just happy to be there. Like,
you weren't even invited.
No, shut up. I went to the meetings. Well, I went to the hotels and took part in the drinking and got the Coles notes.
What goes into the process of becoming a player rep? Can anyone on any team do it, or do you have to kind of be elected by your peers or your teammates?
I mean, usually you go to the guy who's at least got a college diploma or a college degree. Usually the university guys with a little bit more maturity who actually had to have the responsibility of showing up to class. I don't want any of this conversation we'll keep answering that question. The fans are sitting here listening because that's who supports the product and the reason these guys are able to make what they make. And you guys are probably being like, well, what the fuck do we win? You guys are just going to keep jacking up ticket prices, and you want to bring your kid to a game in Edmonton and getting the hot dog and hamburger and popcorn is going to be $75 with a beer. I don't think that that's going to change. I don't think if the players got locked out and then they even got a little bit more fat trimmed off their salaries, it's still going up. It's still going up. So I guess you got to ask yourself as a fan: am I supporting these players, or who are essentially millionaires, or am I supporting these billionaires?
I think fans should support a soft cap. I don't know why they wouldn't, Biz. I mean, it's more fun for the league. Your team that's out of it could make a big trade, just like the Phoenix Suns, and then you get Kevin Durant and you're back in it. It's like with the soft cap, these 5-6 year rebuilds, that's not going to happen. It's going to be a lot quicker.
There you go. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, is you can go from having not a very good team to a good team, and it just becomes, it becomes a little bit more of a free-for-all and more fun. RA, do you agree with the lengths of contracts? And I think that lack of commitment in owners
hurts
having
players a little bit, though.
Yes, it hurts players but for the star players, it gets them faster to that next bigger contract. But you also, it's just that everlasting thought of like, if I get injured and I never play again, it's like that. Well, buddy, I know, but it's just like, if you're a type of guy who's getting a 6-year deal, you're probably getting a $2-3 million minimum guaranteed in those deals, if not crazier than that. I mean, you got to be able to fucking manage your money. I don't know. So that's where I can't feel sorry for you, where it's like, well, if you do want softer caps and the league to grow, and then overall salaries and even that baseline for league minimum, and maybe on top of that, it's better health care for when guys retire. Like, they're still chipping away at those little things too that I think eventually matter most, and especially for those guys who aren't the star players. So I think if you're like, there's a reason that Austin Matthews signed a 5-year deal, because he fucking timed it perfectly. He got the max of what he could have got then, and now all of a sudden, boom, he's up. And guess what's happening? The cap's going to go up another $5 million.
I mean, Biz, that's why no one signs long deals in the NBA. They sign 1, 2, 3-year deals so they can re-up and get more money.
So I feel like the NBA is a little bit more advanced than that, and exactly everything we just said and talked about, they do. Whereas you're not going to get But in the same breath, you needed those voices from the star players, which
Exactly.
to compare the different, I think there's a happy median here to be met as far as making it a complete free-for-all or organized chaos, as I like to call it. So I know we've went deep on this, and I just wanted to make sure I covered the fans' perspective. Is like you guys feel like you're always the ones getting screwed by either there being no hockey on or prices being jacked up. Well, I think the prices are being jacked up regardless. And I do think that more and more of these kids are siphoning on the internet and seeing what these other athletes and sports people are doing and trying to emulate what they're doing, and they're getting smarter and evolving. Most kids who have access to the internet. So I think that we're going to see a shift in the players' side this next CBA.
Biz, to answer your question, I don't see the 8-year thing as like a pressing need. I mean, I'm sure you can argue either sides. I don't think it's a huge deal. And I never understand fans who side with owners in any situation. I don't get that at all. I'll never get that.
Because they look at the athletes who sometimes drive them crazy because they see them 82 times a year and they get so frustrated with how much money they're making. And you almost forget about the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, who's the reason that you can't even afford to bring your family to a fucking hockey game.
Yeah, it is expensive as hell. Good. Another topic. Great job, guys. Really, this is like you kind of.
Let's hope Marty Walsh can unite them and figure out a way to kind of get these guys as one unit in terms of going into this next negotiation. And if there's another fucking lockout, I'm quitting this podcast.
Daniel plan. Lisa needs braces. That's for Simpsons fans in the audience. I know you guys don't watch the show. You know. We've talked about dad strips, mom strips before, but the Bruins are having a sibling strip that's going to hit Dallas and Nashville this week. Have you guys ever heard of a sibling strip?
Oh, my God.
Pack the rubbers.
You got to see the picture of AJ Greer's brother that is walking out on the tarmac with him. They're going to Nashville. I'll say this. One thing, he looks like a beauty. Second thing, he looks like he's going to misbehave the fuck out of himself in Nashville. And I can't imagine these brothers ripping it up. I believe they had Brad Marchand's brother on saying that he's a big-time poet. Brad Marchand, I don't know if he was completely trolling. Knowing it's a Marchand, he might have been kidding, but he said Marchand's into poetry, writes poetry, and is a big Shakespeare fan. He had to be kidding, right?
Some of their hogs are going to look like my voice sounds by the end of that trip.
He was deadpan. Boys, I said siblings, not brothers, because there are some sisters on the trip, which creates a question.
Never mind. Take what I said
Take
back.
it back.
Fucking
like,
here for the
like
gangbang.
Actually, gee, I'll go to you. You got, what, how many brothers? 3?
I got 3 brothers, yeah.
Like if you picked one, are the other 2 going to be pissed? Like, how's that going to
Oh, my God, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. That's been the story of the Grinnell family for 4 years. We had Bruin season tickets. Just imagine trying to weasel down 4 brothers into 2 tickets.
The
Who would
only
you
way
bring?
of doing it is, I believe, it's like a draw sticks thing. If you know, I got 2
how we've
brothers,
always done
you got
it.
3. It's like if you're close with all of them, which I hope everyone out there is. It's one of those things. You guys got to figure this out on your own through some sort of competition or whatever, because it's just blatantly pick one guy, unless it's your twin brother or sister, which maybe makes a little more sense. That is a forever grudge that will be held family wise.
Open
Or
to
have
bribes, though, too. I would take a bribe from my brother real quick.
Have a gift off.
Exactly.
All right, boys, we're going to wrap up here shortly. Don't forget, we will be in Raleigh this weekend if the airline industry doesn't screw us once again. Grinnell, we're going to be at Teats Friday from 5:30 to 7, correct?
Battaglia's bar.
Okay, nice. 425 Glenwood Ave in Raleigh. And then Friday night, boys, we are going to see Hootie and the Blowfish. Shout out to guitarist Mark Bryan. He just dropped a new single titled Make It Right. And he and his son Kenny, they're going to be playing this Sunday in Washington, D.C. at the O Museum in the Mansion. So if you're around in D.C. this weekend, check them out Sunday night. I can't wait for this weekend, boys. Like I said, assuming they get us there on the planes.
Drake last weekend, Hootie and the Bullfish this weekend. I'm on a concert high right now, boys.
Oh, he had to squeeze that in, didn't you?
I was trying to.
So Pasha got you into Drake at Super Bowl.
Me and Pasha got to see Drake in an airport hangar with it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool event. Pasha,
Keep talking, keep gloating
about it.
I had a tough moment in there, boys, though, real tough one. So we got VIP passes to the Drake show, Pasha. We got in the spot where all the tables are, right? But we didn't have a table. So at this point, we're just trying to like mooch off people's tables. Me and Pasha get separated. I see Will Compton in there. I see Will Compton and Taylor. They're with a bunch of NFL guys. I go up to their table, say hello, how you guys doing? You know, within 2-3 minutes, I'm standing there by myself, just solo dolo, just looking like, who the fuck's this loser? And these are big NFL players, so like I was clearly just like out of the loop. And I see Shane Gillis, that hilarious comedian, just standing there. He's kind of talking to someone, and I panic, so I look at him right away, and I go, Shane, huge fan. And I go to shake his hand, knock his beer all over him. At this point, now I'm the guy who's not only not talking to anyone, I've just spilled Shane Gillis's beer all over him at the Drake show. It was a tough moment. Just put my head down. I think I just beelined it right out of there. And but yeah, Drake was great.
Do you get a little nervous around celebrities? Like, who was the other guy you asked for his autograph and he pigeon tossed you? The guy from The Office.
Oh yeah, what
BJ
the fuck?
Novak.
BJ Novak. I think I'm pretty good with celebrities. I think you guys have kind of taught me well. I usually keep my distance. This was a situation where I panicked. I had no one to talk to. I didn't know where Pasha was. I was rolling solo in this group. I mean, at this table. So yeah, it was a tough look for me though, boys. It was embarrassing.
Jeez. Aside from the fucking
What a nerd.
that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the show? Yikes.
Barstool set up an incredible weekend at Super Bowl. Well, the full week. We're very blessed to work with a company who has so many talented people working for it in front of the cameras, behind the cameras, and they've done a lot for us. So just a massive, massive thank you for everything. And I guess we could save it till next podcast, but Lou Lamoriello sent another one of his goons, this time his son, over to us at one of our appearances. And I got a threat from him. I might need a full security team at the NYPD game. He came up. Wait, did you meet him?
Nelson.
Did you meet him?
Yeah, and when I met him, I didn't know it was his son. And then you're like, this is Lamoriello's son. I was like, what? I just met the guy. I was like, oh my God.
Well, he had Jaws from 007, the big mutant behind him, basically threatening me too. It was a message from Butch Goring and Lou Lamoriello. So not only do I got a fucking 73-year-old goon on me, I got Lou Lamoriello's kid coming up to me at one of our appearances and grabbing me by the face and saying, this is a message from the old man. He sends his best.
Biz,
Sleeps with the
if you need security in Long Island, why don't you just call the kid from the last meet and greet that just took over the whole show and ran our show?
Oh, wow. Okay, we got to talk about this. Great reminding us, Grinelli. This is
let me start with one thing about this.
All-time Chiclets moment.
Incredible moment. All I'll say is that I walked into our meet and greet at Bo's Pub, All-Star Game Day, and a guy came up to me, Pink Whitney t-shirt. Hey, what's going on? I'm GM of the bar. And he proceeded to do God's work. I'm telling you, when with all the meet and greets we've done, none was better set up than this, all because of this guy. Got you this section over here. What do you need, Ryan? Right over there. That's an area you guys can go outside and chill for a couple minutes. What do you need to drink? Line's going to be coming here. He's then telling Merles, why don't you go over and talk to some fans in line? They might not get here before the meet and greet time ends. He is bombing around, and I'm like, God damn, he's the best in the business. Well, come to find out, he's best in the business, all right. Best in the business at fooling Witty and the rest of us idiots, because this dude's a crazy, crazy human being.
All right, I'll take it from there. Well, I overheard your conversation. Actually, Grinelli, you tell your side of it, and then I'll say when I was like, wait a minute, I think I know the guy you're talking about. He gave me his business card. Grinelli, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this kid was incredible all night. Move the line along. But at the end of the meet and greet, one of the girls that works with us is like, hey, Mike, I really got to talk to you about something serious. This is really important. I just got to go to the bathroom real quick. Just let me run to the bathroom, then we can chat about whatever it is. So I'm down in the bathroom, taking a piss. I turn around. This kid is right there. The kid who's the GM of the bar, or the GM of the bar, was right there. And he just looks at me and goes, man, I lied about everything. And I'm like, what? Like, what? And he goes, man, if they see me in here talking to you, they're going to kick me right out of here. Like, I'm just letting you know that now. And I'm like, oh my God, I think this guy's going to kill me. I have no fucking clue what's going on right now. And he's like, I lied about everything. I told the bar I work for Barstool. I told Barstool I work for the bar. But I got here at 9 a.m. this morning. I made sure everyone was in Pink Whitney shirts. I was behind the bar making drinks. I was bussing drinks. When Witt's in-laws got here, I went out and got them. He gave me a full list of everything that happened. And as we're walking out of the bathroom talking, everyone came down that was going to get him. And he's like, oh, I gotta go. I can't. They're gonna get me. This is so bad. I'm so sorry. I apologize for everything. But let me have your email, and I'll email you my resume. He emailed me his resume. Impressive resume, to say the least. But
yeah, half of it's
I'm sure it was
not true, though.
Yeah, I will never believe a word this kid says. But
it was
just a crazy
page email of his resume of stuff that he's never done.
So for people who are confused, this lunatic is a Chiclets diehard. This is why we love you guys. And he fucking came from Long Island down there with one mission in mind. All right, you haven't heard this?
I know I did. I didn't know he came down from Long Island. I didn't
from
hear
Long
this.
Island.
Holy shit.
And he came down to prove to us what he could do for us. And he went into that bar at 9 a.m., told them he was representing us, told them what to do, how to get ready. By the way, he did a great job. He had all the waitresses in Pink Whitney shirts. He was doing
one of the waitresses
everything you could ever
were wearing
ask
a
for.
pink. Not one of them were wearing a Pink Whitney shirt. By the time he was done telling all of them, they were all lined up, ready to go, endorsing Pink Whitney, all dolled up. He had the line.
Leonardo DiCaprio from that movie. What's that called?
Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can. He's Chiclets If You Can. It's like he actually faked everything to have everyone convinced that he was working for the other side, in which you wouldn't even know who worked for them. And now I don't know, do we have to hire this guy?
I think we got to hire him.
He's either going to bring us to the moon or he's going to slit our throats. I just don't know which way it's going to go.
But it's hard to find good help, so we're going to give him a try.
Hell of an audition. He nailed the audition.
When we say this,
he nailed the audition.
He was the hardest working person there. And you guys are probably wondering, well, how the hell do you know about it? He came out to me outside and told me the exact same story that he told Grinnell, but that's probably when he was like making his full exit. He gave me a business card from the bar, but it was his name written on somebody else's business card. Not one piece of information on the business card was his, just his fucking name. Jeez. So this guy's an anomaly. I don't know if he's the smartest or stupidest guy in the world, but I respect his hustle.
How about
he
this?
Might be our latest Chiclets employee hire.
The following efforts were completed with zero direction from management at Bo's Pub. 1. Recommend all front of house staff wear Chiclet attire. 2. Place Pink Whitney drink special and pink fork and knife roll-ups on every table facing the door to ensure positive optics. 3. Move tables and chairs to create a more welcoming dining room downstairs. 4. Choose appropriate Pink Whitney logo to be displayed on TV screens. 5. Man the door and deny access to those trying to enter the restaurant prematurely. You drove from Long Island to fucking be here and you're dogging people. 6. Swinging the line from the neighboring businesses. 7. Offer to hold a pre-event meeting with staff to get everyone on the same page. 8. Leslie Grossman, Bo's Pub Director of Sales and Events, quickly realized they were understaffed, so I helped her seat incoming guests. 9. Recommend to Leslie she shut down open table reservations platform because the app allowed people to make reservations upstairs, and that's where we'd be holding our event. 10. Run cups of water to tables and take drink orders. That's a busboy. 11. Manage crowd control in line as the VIP group started to enter the event. 12. Maintain visual of wait list and request more staff to be called in. The list goes on. I think he gave 21 different things.
Fucking
It's
John
just an
Taffa.
unbelievable story.
I have his
guess
name here on the card that he gave me. It's Joshua Chat GPD. This guy is the human version. He's a fucking robot.
19.
This is Chat GPD. I told you he was coming to take your jobs.
Hey.
This is Chat GPD. This is the future. You're fucked, kids.
19. Ordered Uber XL for departure at 2:15 p.m. because I checked the traffic and knew the guys had to leave for a 3 p.m. arrival to the arena.
God.
Then he writes us all notes. Wit, the only father of the podcast. You never got a chance to play in front of your kids. A common question you ask guys on the pod. How's it feel having your kids around the locker room to watch you do what you do? Ask Jordan Eberle how it feels, and when you do, ask his wife how much of a help I was in the family room over the years. As the pod grows, so do kids. No shit, bud. Chiclets is going to continue to be needed around North America and maybe overseas. You never know. You might want to bring your family along to enjoy these moments with you. You and your son against Sean Avery and his son in a Sandbagger. We have no idea what the future holds, but I can tell you that I'll be there to slit your throat when you do piss me off finally. If I'm completely wrong about this, I hope you can at least agree to the previously mentioned points I've made. And he wrote all of us little notes. It's It's a wild story.
I want to hear
where
mine.
you're-
I haven't read mine. Read
Okay,
our
so
race. Come on,
yours
read our
is
race.
RAs. Brian, we had a great chat. We had a great chat
Brian?
walking around the arena looking for Yans on Friday. I have tremendous respect for you as the journalist of the pod. Would love to show you some of the pieces I've been working on over the years. Biz, in quotations, you gotta be the bad guy. I've been the good guy for way too long. I've been bent over backwards, no spit, no lube, sandpaper finished by too many companies, organization, and people I considered family. I am willing, able, and honestly ready to be the bad guy for once. I don't know if that's a good thing for all events moving forward. I can be that much needed bad guy. I don't want to be on camera, and I certainly don't want to steal the spotlight. You've stole the spotlight, bud. During the pod, RA drives the bus. During an event, you need a glue guy, a locker room guy. Same as you were on the aux for Sid. One who isn't afraid to block shots and take down the other team's tough guy when they're running around like a donkey. Someone who knows when to get security involved. Yeah, like when you show up. Not some dude in a black polo who claims they're security and is hungover from last night's efforts of trying to wheel the bartender even though she's reminded him countless times she has a boyfriend. I've been working guest services in large-scale events for the past decade. These things happen. They happen every day and everywhere. There's no avoiding them, especially when alcohol is involved. And boys, let's be honest. You just launched 2 major alcohol brands. However, by injecting me into the mix, a lot of it can be prevented, avoided, and you'll ultimately be protected under my supervision.
If Pink Whitney doesn't hire him, I'm hiring him for Big Deal Brewing. This
Holy
guy is
fucking
amazing.
Eddie Wilkes.
He shouldn't be
Holy shit.
he shouldn't be working security or whatever he's trying to get as a job. He should be writing novels.
Seriously.
He drove from Long Island, right?
Yes, that's what he told us. He said
Well,
he
yeah,
drove from
well,
Long Island.
Allegedly.
Just a wild story of, I guess, shooting your shot, but also anyone listening, don't ever fucking do this.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But when you told me in Scottsdale, have you heard this story? Where I was like, no. And then you were telling me about the guy. I was like, oh, yeah. I wonder if the GM knew him. You're like, no. That was him. I would have bet my life savings that this guy was the GM of that bar.
He had
And the
everybody
amazing thing-
convinced.
The amazing thing Grinelli mentioned was that, like, I had left to go to the airport, but at one point, a bartender's like, hey, what's your name again? And Grinelli's like, in my head, I'm like, why does the bartender not know the GM's name? But just seeing them all realize they'd all been duped is just, I wish I was there to witness it. I gotta go though, boys. I gotta go.
That's fine, but it's up to Chiclets fans on whether we're hiring this guy. I think we leave it up to the
Fair enough.
I think we leave it up to the court of public opinion to figure out whether we should hire this guy for Chiclets. So Chiclets fans, we need you. We love you. We appreciate you sticking around for our silly asses discussing hockey. But it's time to rest up the old leather Cheerio voice.
And for anyone who votes yes, if he kills one of us, don't even think you won't be approached to be a representative in court, because that's on you. I'm not saying that the vote should be no. Part of me actually really believes it should be yes, but I'm going to be nervous no matter what we end up deciding. I'll tell you that for free. We've put ourselves in quite a predicament here with this lunatic.
Yeah, you automatically go into doing jury duty if you vote for yes. You go in like a lottery system for when he slits our throats.
All right, boys.
What a fucking show.
Great episode. Great seeing you guys again, not in person. And thank you all for listening so much. We love you very much.
Kane to the Leafs.
And we'll see you
and
in Raleigh this
hammer the
weekend.
Penguins tonight against San Jose. See ya.